This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 877 for the week of Monday, July 21st, 2025. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And on this week's episode, we have no description here, Vero.
Hi.
What's your current title?
I don't Yaoi Master? What?
Yaoi
I don't know.
Master? Okay.
Yeah, it changes weekly.
Well, welcome back, Vero.
The
Thank you.
Blaster Master of Yaoi Thunderdome.
Yeah, exactly.
We have Eisner Award nominated artist for Merman, Dragon Racer, Ghost Hog. I'm missing some, aren't I?
The Littlest Fighter?
Four. Littlest Fighter. That's the one it's new. It's not in my Rolodex yet. Joey Weiser's here. Hi, Joey.
Hello. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's okay.
And
We can make that list shorter maybe.
No,
but yeah, The Littlest Fighter is the newest book, so I hope people check that out.
And last but not least, we have from the new world of the internet. See, I did a One Piece thing there. We have Golfer. You know what? I should have asked how you pronounce the next part of this, but Golfer is with us. How's it going, Golfer?
You can go with Golfer. Yeah, it's going good. Happy to be on.
Yeah, welcome on. It's great to have you here. Vero, I should call it our youth correspondent. That sounds really awful.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. I like that one. Yeah. I use TikTok. The rest of the guys don't. Well, one of us has children and it's not me. So whatever. You're a little old. It's okay. It's graceful. Anyway, Golfer here has some really incredible I don't want to use the word content. I really like the videos that he makes on TikTok. Talks a lot about manga and then also relates it a lot to the real world. And I think that's super awesome. I think he kind of talks a lot of the stuff that we talk about sometimes. So if you are on that app, definitely go check him out. But yeah,
do you
want to introduce yourself?
Too, right, Golfer?
No, well, I have a channel. I put up like 3 videos. And then they're like, you can only have 3 minutes. And I was like, everything I do is longer than 3 minutes. So
who does?
We'll come back around to it at some point. Yeah.
So yeah, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your One Piece origin story?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I'd always heard of One Piece. My buddies had been watching it since, I want to say, if I can remember what they were watching at the time, it was like Enies Lobby. And
2006.
Even then, I was like, that's too long. That's like 250 episodes.
That sounds like when I caught up summer of 2006. It was 260 episodes that I watched at the time.
Mm-hmm. And so a couple of years ago, I watched a couple of videos from this guy on TikTok named Saiga, and it made it sound One Piece like was too interesting to pass up on. So I finally convinced my wife that we're just going to sit down and watch the entire show. And we blasted through it, watching a ton of episodes every single week, and just weird and crazy life events ended up happening in the middle while we were watching it. My car got wrecked. My wife was driving it. This guy drove straight into her. The very next episode that we watched when we got home was the Mary funeral.
Oh, wow.
So I was
no.
beyond hooked on the show to begin with. I thought it was so cool. And then that happened, and that real emotional connection that like you can get with One Piece really sat in there. And so I've just been in love with it ever since. I've collected all the manga. I've got a whole bunch of different stuff. My wife has crocheted me a chopper too. And,
Aww.
We're big time committed to the silly pirate gang.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
We're also committed to the silly pirate gang.
If you were going to make... Sorry.
No, Vero.
I was going to say, if you're going to make a commitment to a manga, at least this one's going to, see you through.
This puts the
forever.
commitment.
It's a long-term commitment, yeah.
It is. If you're afraid of what is it? Whatever. That sentence left my head. It's also, just I always find it very, as Vero said, inspiring to see real world. It's like I don't want to call it a third rail of the anime fandom, but I think when you talk about politics generally, you will get awful people responding in kind. I'm sure our YouTube.
Yeah, there
or
are
whatever,
people who don't
Spotify
want you to
comments.
notice things.
We often say, like, for people reading One Piece and somehow on the far right and not really noticing what's reflected in themselves, it's like, what are you reading? And
They're
this
not
week is
reading
no
it. That's the
exception.
thing. They're watching fight clips.
That's
they're
true.
they're watching the fight compilations, and
Which
then
are
just,
good, but not, you know.
they're awesome. But that's not the meat of One Piece. The meat of
No.
One Piece is the story it's really telling you.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old brother and his friends, I guess they were 12 at the time, learned that I read One Piece, and they were like, wait, you know things? And they kept asking me questions about it. And then I came to learn that these 12-year-old boys who were like diehard One Piece fans only knew about it from like clip farm YouTube compilations and reading Wikipedia. And I'm like, I'm going to go buy you the damn book right now.
You know what?
And that's what I think these
Yeah.
people are doing.
If we could afford it, I'd be like, for every person who is only watching that, we would get them a subscription or something. I mean, it's not even like they're that much money, but we should start like a charitable organization.
Some
humble
libraries
bundle.
have all the books.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's how my nephew
uncle-
read One Piece after I gave him the first volume.
I'm describing libraries. You're right. I'm just putting two and two together here.
Fortunately,
So-
we have a good local library here.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Chicagoans. So, Golfer, we ask everyone the same set of questions when they come on to determine whether they're... No, it's not really to determine anything, but we'll see. So, the first question is, who is your favorite Straw Hat Pirate?
It's such an impossible question because if I answer anybody but Luffy, in the back of my head, I'm like, it's Luffy. So he gets his own like special class.
Right.
Anybody who isn't Luffy, it's Chopper.
Aw,
Those are both
okay.
right.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be Sanji, but I can't live through the gag. I can't commit to him. You know, he's a chef. He only kicks. I absolutely love any character who only
smokes.
kicks. He smokes. He looks so cool, and he just won't give up the bit. And Oda loves that bit, and it kills me
Wow.
every time.
That describes my relationship with Sanji very well.
Yeah. As
Not
a
Vero as much.
extreme feminist who is also a diehard Sanji fan, you know, holding those two in my brain at the same time is I'm just, you know, you realize I'm like, listen, the real Sanji wouldn't be like that. This is Oda's fault. But nah, Chopper's a great pick.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So, do you follow the live action at all? Then,
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the live action Chopper reveal? I must know.
I thought it looks pretty good, and I thought it was pretty in line with Chopper's backstory to have so many people be like, "What? This hideous monster is our Chopper?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "We're just reenacting Drum Island all over again."
You know
In real
what?
life. Next question. Who is your favorite antagonist in One Piece?
Kizaru by a mile. That is
nice.
easily my favorite. I think the light aspect of his powers is just super cool. And then I love the honesty of his evilness of just like, it's a job. Like he's just telling you, I'm clocking in. Doesn't matter how much I like all the different people we interact
And then
with.
you get the duality of him crying during Egghead.
hmm But he still did his job. He still did it.
Wearing
and
his
he's still an
glasses so
emotional
people couldn't
wreck.
see him crying.
Yeah. I guess I love that about a villain. Like I want to know exactly what you're after. And even if it's just the paycheck and security of, being a part of the violence arm of the world government, more power to you.
Yeah,
I love that answer.
I've been learning to love Kuro a little more once I realized he's just looking for a good retirement plan. Like he just wants some social security and I'm with lowercase s's. Yeah, it's. I could appreciate an antagonist who has almost I don't want to say relatable goals, but okay, I get what's going through his head at least when he's doing this. I don't know if that's the word or even anyway, in a story, not in real life.
Yeah.
Let me underline that part.
That makes sense.
The next question, besides for someone who does not fit in those two buckets, of antagonist or Straw Hat, who is your favorite Straw Hat Pirate?
Oh, nice.
Who is your favorite antagonist? Straw Hat? Who is your favorite Straw Hat Pirate? Who is your favorite antagonist or Straw Hat? Who is your favorite Straw Hat Pirate? 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 Who is your favorite Straw secondary, character in the
Tertiary character.
or tertiary or quaternary.
I'd probably say, I do end up really liking the aesthetic of a ton of the villains that they've ended up interacting with. So even outside of like antagonists and hold on, I got a stack of One Piece cards. I feel like this is going to help me.
You could pick an antagonist if you want,
I mean,
pick
for
that
one, I
stack of
love
One
all
Piece
of the we got to look through it, but I've ended up, it's all it's probably Laboon. It's probably
Ooh.
Laboon.
Oh,
Good choice.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one yet, I don't think. I know Kizaru might be new too for antagonist. I don't know if I've heard that one.
Well, I'm
We're
glad
switching it
we're
up.
breaking
Yeah,
new
it's
ground
great.
here.
No, we should be. Every guest should have different opinions, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what is your favorite One Piece story arc?
Story arc.
Defined how you want to, because we've been internally discussing that to death.
It feels like every arc that happens is like, oh no, this is now my favorite one. But it's always recency bias, and like you kind of go back to it. And the safe answers are always like Water 7 and Ennie's Lobby. But I'd probably say Arlong Park. I have
that's classic.
my
Good
coworker
answer.
printed out our messages to each other. So he had watched all of One Piece, but he doesn't read it. And I remember sending him a message on Teams, and I was on episode 44, and I think 45 is when they do the Arlong Park walk. I could be misremembering the numbers.
It's probably the best
but-
anime-only moment of the series.
Oh, yeah. And he prints out a page and puts it on my desk like a couple weeks ago that was like, I kept messaging. I was like, I cannot wait to watch Luffy beat Arlong's ass. I cannot wait to watch like all of this happen. So it's probably, it's one of those moments you really fall in love with how goofy he is. He sticks his feet in the ground and he does the gum pinwheel, and you're just like, I'm along for this ride. Like it's.
But then there's also the duality of him getting like stuck underwater and having to pull his head out.
Having the crew have to save him in that moment. Yeah. Zoro beating up all the different pirates that were already waiting there for them. It was such a good arc, and it really just kind of cements like what the show is going to be about.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the moment when you realize, oh, this isn't just going to be some silly little pirate thing. Like, he's serious about this. He's doing some really interesting stuff. Yeah,
that's the one. I think generationally, I think every generation kind of has their. When did you what year did you start getting into it? Was it 2006, Ed?
Oh no, it was 2021.
That makes more sense. I was going to say
I've
you've
only been around for so long.
Yeah.
I'm only 30. So I'm not like a youngin'. Like I'm not like a kid, but I'm not that old.
No, I'm in my 30s. And then,
Arlong Park seems
yes.
to be the arc that people will say, just get up to Arlong. If you're not feeling the first few volumes or first few arcs, just get up to Arlong Park, and if you're still not feeling it, then you can dip. But
if you're watching the anime, sometimes the Kuro arc drags. I felt the first time in the anime.
Yeah.
You get through to Arlong, and then
just
you're
let
in.
him have his retirement. Yeah. Speaking of the anime, the last question would be, what is your favorite opening or ending in the series?
Oh, We Are. It's because it's the only one in English, so I can sing it at karaoke. I can try and sing all the other ones at karaoke. It just ends up botched, but We Are, we've got an English translation.
I mean, there are parts in Japanese if you watch the Japanese one.
Yeah.
No?
I watched enough of it in Japanese at the beginning that I can sing along with some of the Japanese openings.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can do a little bit of Sunshine. That's about as far as
Yeah.
I can go singing the Japanese ones.
Yeah, I'm good at faking my way through it. We have co-hosts that are able to, that know that whole preamble of We Are. I know Alex could do that by heart, which I think is crazy. Anyway, today we are going through One Piece chapter 1155. We're going to have some piece together and maybe other things after. We'll see how long we go. Before we get started, there's one piece of One Piece news and one piece of podcast news. Vero, I feel like we should talk about the podcast stuff that we've already been talking about for a few weeks, but
love to talk about the podcast stuff.
Okay.
You can
the
next new title you can give me next time I come on is sticker Baron. I don't.
Baron.
Nice.
I was
I don't
wondering
know.
what title.
That
you
was
were
the
gonna
first
go with.
word that came to mind. I don't like Baron.
Baron?
Never mind.
Sticker dealer.
Yeah, your sticker dealer.
That sounds more.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyway, listeners know we have a Patreon. You love our Patreon. We love that you guys love our Patreon. We wanted to make it a little bit more enticing and exciting and give back to you in a certain kind of way. Forgive me if you've heard this one already. We are introducing a new tier. It's the Sticker Club. Steve does so much art for the podcast already. He's already started turning some of the podcast images into stickers. We thought, screw it. Why not actually offer this as a part of the show? It's $12 a month if you sign up. You get a sticker a month. You guys get to vote on what kind of sticker you want. So we'll usually put up between 2 to 3 designs, depending on how often something is drawn that month. You guys can vote through it towards the beginning of the month, and then once it's voted on, you have until the end of the month to sign up for the tier if you're not already. This month, we've already opened it. It's the really cute drawing of Loki and the Sunny and a little floaty device having a grand old time.
It's a little floaty sidecar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a real winner at Anime Expo, so get yours.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not every month is going to be a current art because there's such a great backlog of old images, so we'll throw up some older ones too.
Maybe we should do not to brainstorm.
Just in retrospect, I think we would have sold a lot of stickers if we were selling stickers of back when Maddie did Kaido, Tom Nook, and Isabel Big Mom.
I don't think I've seen that one. You'll have to send that later.
The episode is called Animal Crossing Pirates.
That, I think that was before my time,
okay.
which is really embarrassing.
That was before your time.
That's crazy.
It was in 2020, so don't feel that bad. I mean, it was an Animal Crossing
was huge
reference.
that year for some reason.
Yeah. It's not like we were all stuck in our house or anything.
No, so the one bit of One Piece news is that Law's story, the novella, the light novel, whatever you want to call it, for Trafalgar Law's backstory is coming out October 28th in English. So we could all bask in the gluten
Trafalgar Law's law blog.
Yeah, that's what they should have called it. Anyway, you could check that out when it comes out from Viz on October 28th. That's all the news I have here, so let's get into the manga.
Fantastic.
Woohoo!
This is the manga recap for chapter 1155, The Rocks Pirates. You can read this chapter as soon as it comes out on shonenjump.viz.com or mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. It's free, it's legal, it's available. It's legal. Did I say illegal? Anyway, maybe more people would go to it. Anyway, Ed, what's going on the cover of Shonen Jump?
Speaking of ways to read the manga, the best way to read is on the Shonen Jump app on the phone, because that app will tell you exactly how long it is until the next chapter comes out.
How long?
No guessing.
We have 14 days, I think, now.
Yeah, I saw it said to be continued.
Mm-hmm. It's lied to us
On the
before,
end.
once or twice.
This is true.
But it took the mysterious breaks.
So yeah, Ed, what's going on the cover of Shonen Jump?
Sure, we got a modern day Luffy with his scar and his sash, and it's got the numbers 2, 3, 5, and 4, but it's all the gears. We got steamy Gear 2 Luffy, inflated Gear 3 Luffy, laughing Gear 5, and
Angry Gear 4.
yeah. Yeah, he is sneering.
Yeah, Gear 4 Luffy is always angry looking. I've never seen a happy looking Gear 4, have we? I don't know.
It'd be kind of disturbing.
Not my favorite.
Wait, he wasn't smiling after he ate all of the cracker soldiers?
I don't think he was happy about that. I mean, it was done out of necessity. I mean, it's doing a thing that you like doing, but okay, I guess I have to do more of it than I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he was, though.
Maybe.
Fans. correct us.
It
Correct
just reminds
us
me
there.
of like remember
tweet a
in
picture of me-
Aladdin
of
when
Luffy.
Jafar keeps stuffing crackers in Iago's mouth.
Yeah, I was thinking of Homer Simpson with the donut punishment.
The Nathan's hot dog contest, people dip their buns in water. It's gross. But I understand why they do it.
Why would you do this to us, Ed? I don't have any specific comments other than it was mentioned he looks a little off model, and he does look a little odd. But Joey, do you have any comments, resident artist?
Oh,
here?
it
And Vera?
seems on the Japanese cover of Jump that it says something about stickers. I didn't bother to try to like read the whole thing. So I think either there's stickers in the magazine or they're going to be giving them away or selling them or something like that. So I think it's cool that each of the gear illustrations I think is a separate illustration, and
Yeah.
I'm sure eventually when there's like a color walk, you'll get to see the full illustration if you don't get one of those stickers. Or
It's
something.
great
But
that Oda stole our idea of a sticker club, like right after
He
we
was
released
so
it a few weeks ago.
inspired.
Yeah,
He was
the
just such a good
Oda
idea.
Patreon.
Eiichiro Oda.
Yeah.
He would have some Patreon, I'll tell you right now. Actually, no, he
And
would have
it would
gotten
just
kicked
be
off
that
Patreon.
Nami color spread over and over and over again.
You're right.
You know what?
Anyway,
Hmm
there's a few of the
The ice
ones you
cream
could
one,
be
we all
referring-
know.
No, it's the one
Not
with
the water bottle
the one
one
with the
with-
weirdly long arms where she's dumping
Yeah.
water all over herself.
That one's weird.
You're right. You're right. I forgot about that one.
And which ice cream one? Because there's several.
The most recent one that just like with the, where they're all, never mind.
I know which one. The one with the giant one.
Yeah, I like the one with
Yeah.
the I think it was on the cover of a calendar where each
we
straw
talking
hat
about this?
is their own scoop of ice cream on the cone.
That one was
That
kind
was
of
a
crazy.
Shonen Jump cover. That one's weird.
Yeah.
Was that Nami eating? No, that was Luffy eating that, I think. But then there's the one where Nami's also eating the scoops of ice cream that's in opening like 12 or something, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's stop talking about Oda's upcoming Patreon. What's on the color spread, Ed?
Actually, we talk about the author comment as well, and Oda's got stuff to say about culture this week, and he says,
Did we figure out what any of this means?
he says, "Copyman, Kawani, the mascot characters keep coming. Gal Neko is so Kawani."
I got no clue. I thought these were VTubers or something. I don't know what he's talking about.
I think those mascot characters, like the sort of like, you know, like sports mascot looking characters that they have
Maybe.
like,
I mean, if you Google Gal Neko, it just comes up as Cat Girl.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
at different regions of Japan have them in different sports teams and all sorts of like different individual like supermarkets
Everyone's got a
have them
mascot
and
character.
things like
We've
that.
all seen Paranoia
Yeah.
Agent.
So I think that's what he's talking about.
Actually, I think Oda's hometown of Kumamoto has the best mascot
Yes,
character.
Kumamon is
Kumamon.
like the
Yeah.
Kumamon's the mascot for mascots, I think, in Japan.
No, that's
Ed, what's
Chiton.
going- Well, no, Chiton. That's more recent, yeah. Although they're great as well.
my
Ed,
hero.
what's definitely
Oh.
one of my heroes. What's going on the color spread?
Cover of the color spread is sort of a joyful summer-looking scene with the straw hats. Like, they look like they're crossing between buildings on a rickety sort of wooden ladder thing,
Yeah,
and
that's a
they're
good
sort of
description.
jumping in midair with the Usopp clinging tightly to around Luffy's waist as he jumps in midair with a half-eaten meat, as you do.
And are those penguins?
Yeah.
One of them
No,
looks
they're flying.
suspiciously
Flying
like Zoro.
penguins.
Yeah.
They do. kind of
Oh,
look like
there's a
penguins.
Zoro penguin. Oh, so another Zoro avian creature. We haven't had one since we first, like 16 years ago.
Oh yeah, and there's Zoro. Zoro's walking on the bridge thing just over Usopp's bag. Usopp's
Yeah,
purse.
he's lost. He's definitely gonna fall off.
Seems like a bad
Nice
idea to be
one.
carrying your sword like that at a time like this.
You know, just
No
in
one
case he
really-
needs to cut the bridge.
They're all carefree here, considering.
Yeah. And I
except
don't.
for Usopp.
Sometimes Oda will put like song lyrics on the cover of a color spread, and that's how I identify them later. But I'm just looking at the
His
one I
shirt?
have hanging on my wall here. It's the one with the dogs with like wearing the like the glasses with the nose and the mustache. It says "Live a life of ease," which is from Yellow Submarine.
I will say the only little Easter egg I saw is that you could see Luffy's wanted poster like under that bone of meat. You
like on a billboard.
Like on a billboard, yeah.
Yeah, the Gear 5 poster.
Yeah. Other than that, this feels like a very almost of a different time kind of color.
I like the
spread
color
from
palette.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah, the way he's faded a lot of the background is very effective. It makes it a little messy, and sometimes I kind of wish I could just kind of see it a little more crisply, but I think that compositionally it works really well to have the background faded like that. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. I really love this spread.
It's a very Rainbow
detail
Sherbet color palette.
That's Oda's specialty. Yeah, this reminds me of a lot of like the post time skip kind of color spreads, like even the perspective and everything. There was the one wasn't there one where they're like flying away on balloons? I don't know.
Frankie's on a balloon in this one.
Yeah, so he's waving.
He's on his way to be like the Wizard of Oz somewhere.
He is the Wizard
as usual. The Eiichiro Oda staff Twitter account posted a process video of him sketching the different ideas, and he went through a ton of ideas for this one. The one I really liked, but I think it kind of got away from him, was one where they're like underwater grabbing treasure, and I think Zoro's like trying to pull a sword out of the ground, and it looks like he's maybe like drowning or something, but it's got a really great perspective with like you can see a ship up above.
Yeah, don't pull the plug, Zoro. You don't want to drain the ocean.
Yeah, I just think he kept kind of like piling in more and more details until it kind of was too much of a mess, and then he went with this instead. But
I see Chopper and Sanji here too on the bridge thing. Sanji with his blue backpack. And I guess Chopper's wearing a blue backpack as well.
Yeah, Chopper's usual blue
matchies.
backpack with the X on it. And Jinbei's holding Nami close, who's, I think, maybe a little freaked out by the height that they're at. Yeah, it's cute.
Sanji's like, come on! And she's like, fuck no. That's not happening.
I'll just hang out with Jinbei over here.
And Brooke serenading them with a violin.
No, serenading the penguins.
Cute. Yes.
Who can't fly. Way to go, Oda. I think we found the first mistake in One Piece. Now I'm unsubscribing from your Patreon. What's going on the first page, Vero?
We leave off. Nope. We pick up where the last chapter left off, with Loki answering some man. I don't know that man. I'm just kidding. It's Rox.
Some
right?
guy's father.
some man's father, exactly. And he says, "Yes, this is Elbaf, but my dad ain't here. He's on an expedition. Are you puny humans? I've never seen your kind before. You really do just scurry around." And one of them says, "Ha, you're adorable." Wait, did you say dad? Are you Harold's kid? I think that's probably Whitebeard. And we see, even on an expedition, you could still get in touch with him. What's your name? Loki. Okay, Loki, you're going to do as I say. Go back home right now and get someone to contact your old man. Here's the message you're going to send them to pass on. Loki is gravely wounded. Return to Elbaf at once. And Loki, who doesn't take orders from anybody, is, what? Since when do I have to listen to what you humans say? And also, I really just want to give him like a cookie and a wet towel, and then like be like, "Hey man, it's gonna be okay." I just feel very paternal towards baby Loki, except that we turn the page and he looks a little scary. Plus, it's not like my dad could come back home just because I got hurt, and that made me really sad.
Yeah, that was my first thought before he even said that.
Stop ordering me around, you little weakling. Brock's swords attacked. But Brock's sword attacks were famous for blasting everything in sight. like a gigantic hammer or a cannonball. And he winds up and smacks Loki. There, what I say? Loki's gotten wounded. And the madman had crossed Harold's path before, ... At the reverie, 1 year. And then we see Marriageois. 5 kings have been attacked and captured. It's an abduction. They were taken by a large man dressed in black. Who could that be? And then we see Emu and a really pretty shot with like their arm outstretched, all the flowers around, and there's some butterflies. The lives of...
Is this a bird?
Yeah, did we make that joke when we originally saw
You're
this?
so right, yeah. Emu says, the lives of kings are no threat to Moo. I really hope they have a funny voice.
I meant to ask Steven, the translator of the series, who's usually on the show but couldn't make it this week. Does Moo refer to him or to Moo? Like, is it you or me that Moo is supposed to refer to?
I think he's speaking it like, I feel like it's
only Moo
like...
can prevent forest fires.
Right, exactly. So, are we talking? Yeah.
No, I think that this is...
The lives of kings are no threat to you, as in rocks, as we'll see in a second, or the lives of kings are no threat to me.
Something else entirely. I always took it as a like.
I thought me, personal. But
I thought it was me just with the whole the way he talks when he takes over Gunko earlier in Elbath. When he says like "witness the power of Moo" or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's probably right.
I feel like
when you say it like that, it kind of sounds like it's like the Moo is like the Ide, sort of an eldritch horror.
I've always taken it like, okay, I'm gonna sound really crazy here. What their name is like Emu or whatever, and I've always taken it as like, what if it's supposed to be like Moo, because that's how they refer to themselves the whole time, and like that's their name, and they're speaking, and like that's probably stupid, but I always take it that way. I don't know. Anyway, we see sitting in this garden. I suppose not, but your holy land is in panic. And there's somebody bowing in front of Emu. And am I suffering from Oda women, or does that look like Gunko to anybody else?
I think it's Gunko.
No, it is almost certainly Gunko.
Yeah.
Yeah. No other dichromatic eyes in One Piece, as far as I can think of.
I don't trust myself anymore. I'm loving the fit, though. I think this is super cool. When I was first reading, I actually did a double take because I was like, "Wait, face reveal? No, it's because there's no crown. It's stupid."
And she's wearing a mask like
everyone in the years 2020 through 2023. Yes.
Yes. In a historical anomaly never repeated before or since, someone infiltrated the Chamber of Flowers at the very core of the Holy Land.
Golfer.
The man described himself as a worshiper of Davy Jones. He did not do anything more than this, as he knew he could not. But before he departed, he left a warning. I will be back, right here. Naturally, word of this incident never saw the light of day, but it has happened. One other man infiltrated the Holy Land at the same time. Oh, look at him! He's far bigger than a giant! I desire him for a slave. No, he should be killed and stuffed for display. Guards, protect your lieges.
Sorry to interrupt, but these celestial dragons are, even for celestial dragons, interesting looking.
Yeah. I think Oda's having more and more fun trying to vary up how he draws them,
Yeah, not everyone can be a Figureland.
So the third, they shouldn't be good looking. Well, I guess good looking people are also evil. Or I should say evil people could also be good looking. Not all good looking people are evil. I would never say that.
I don't know.
The third from the right on that page. Any Bob's Burgers fan know that, what's the health inspector guy? That's who that looks like.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
It's just that character, Sorry, that just occurred to me. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hot. Fine. The talks are off. I apologize for trespassing, but is this really necessary? Don't let the king abductor get away. No, that wasn't me. The admiral's been defeated. His attacker went to the palace. Be wary. Guys are both huffing it in both directions. What is all of this hubbub about? Bring me the big one. He must be the one who kidnapped the kings. I'm not going to be the fall guy. I'll seize him and a giant in the Holy Land? This guy lost or something?
So yeah, this is Harold running through. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, it's Harold. I wonder how he caught on fire. I wonder whose job it was to do that to him.
All of them probably.
Because they don't have a Kainu yet. Like who, maybe they had the flame fruit
No,
in
that's magma,
their hands back
Which is
then.
much hotter than flame, as we learned.
Well, it says magma sets things on fire.
Case in point, some other characters.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Never mind.
I'm joking.
It's okay.
Sorry, anything else, Golfer?
I think we're good.
Ed.
I guess this looks like rocks. Here it says, "The giant in the Holy Land. Is this guy lost or something?" And then they clash, and Rox appears to be pulling his sword out to do like a one-sword style attack, and Harold comes in with his sort of like a broad slash, horizontal, and their swords clash, and there's a clash of black lightning hockey. This clash between strangers eradicated any sign of others for 5 kilometers around. And get Rox's laugh again. Wah! Name yourself. And Harold replies, "Blah! I am Harold. I am Rox. Aim at the town with the next blow. If they capture us, they'll turn you into a slave." What? Why? Don't think, just do it.
And we get the conclusion of this scene as it's like, hey, which way is Elbath? Harold explains to Rox that the new... Or I think
that's Rox.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's Rox. You're right. The new world is that way. So is it Vohahaha?
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume. It's no Zihahaha. If you survive, let's meet again, Harold. And then Harold first retorts, "Never! I don't consort with villains. Now I'm going to jump off of this cliff." And there he goes. The Navy Admiral. The Navy Admiral.
He's going to fall right past one of those bondolas.
Yeah. He could have just gone on the bond. Wait, no, he couldn't. He's too big. The Navy Admiral that Rox had just struck down perished of his wounds despite emergency measures. We'll never know his name, nor will we need to. After his many...
I was disappointed by that, personally.
Yeah,
I wanted to see this Admiral.
Me too.
Look up my Japanese actors.
Yeah, that's why Joey wants to know. After his many crimes of the day, Rox's name was launched into infamy, and his deeds stunned the rest of the world. Sometime later.
That's his wanted poster.
Yeah, which I'm sure all the Buggy fans are freaking out about because that is very similar looking.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, ugh, Buggy lore. I just don't want him to be a Nepo baby.
I could understand that. I think it'd be really funny for his character.
Would it be the first character to do the opposite of inherited will, like to just go against what your nepotism would have?
What do you call
to?
that? It's like, okay, I'm gonna throw away and, in fact, have all the opposite genetic traits as my father. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Anyway, Rox's name was launched into infamy, except for those people who thought about Blackbeard and that he looked exactly the same, and yet no one remembered him. Anyway, and his deeds stunned the rest of the world. Sometime later, that's where
especially in the poster, the nose is definitely there.
Yeah, it's like Blackbeard doing the buggy pose. That's what's going on there. Sometime later, he attacked a ship laden with heavily tributes en route to Sacred Marijoa. Not only that, he destroyed the Gate of Justice, I don't know which one, and fled once again. With this ship and money as an initial base to work from, Rox created a striving concern of pirating. His activities were always hostile toward the government, but his first target was actually another pirate ship. And to explain that, we continue. in the Oda Box page here. In the pirating world, there had long existed a famous and merciless game played between crews. The Davy Back Fight, everyone's favorite arc, consisted of various competitions in which pirates gambled the fate of crewmates and flags. Vox made good use of this name to assemble a very solid lineup for himself. The starting lineup for the Vox Pirates are on the next page. At this point, his motley crew of miscreants flew no flag, and that was when they arrived at Elbaf. And during this, we see some of the Davy Back fights that it looks like Rox went through, like little sketchy images of those. We see Whitebeard's face cut off by an Oda box.
Well, you definitely see his weapon there.
Yeah, that is 100% Whitebeard, but his face is too beautiful to see. And you've got the original
Stussy?
Stussy, thank you, Buckingham. And Shiki from the movie standing there and saying, look, they've got someone amazing. You guys are going to be shocked. And I think
that was when they arrived at Elbaf.
Yeah, and Rox is talking about someone particular in Elbaf. But who could it be, Joey?
So we turn our attention to Arist Castle in Elbaf, and someone is saying from within the castle, I hurried back as soon as I could, but you're already nearly healed up? What a relief. And then we cut into the castle to see that it's Harold talking to Loki, and he's saying that he knows he's a very strong boy, but that he should stay away from the underworld. Don't want you playing with down there. And let's see. You're lucky you only fell from a cliff this time. There are plenty of other dangers that could befall you there.
Yes, and only I am strong enough to jump from cliffs.
No, more importantly, that means that Rox and Loki did not mention that that Rox was the one who injured him.
Right.
Yeah. Like father, like son here. And Loki is thinking to himself that he can't believe that his dad actually came back. But that was just a coincidence, right? He wouldn't come back to see me. Aw. And Harold calls out to some little guys on his dinner table saying, Rox, I've heard all about your exploits. What are you doing here? And Rox replies, I've been dying to see you, pal. And then at the bottom of the page, we've got this big spread of, speaking of spread, Rox is man-spreading as hard as he can.
Actually, he's not doing a very good job man-spreading since one of his legs is in. Like,
sure, but his arms are all out. He's taking up as much space as he can. And behind him are a big crew of weirdos, who some of which we've seen before and some of which are new faces to us. And he says, you should join me, Harold. The world government's not going to hear you out anyway. Didn't you learn that lesson last time? And Harold says that that's nonsense. The day I team up with a band of infamous rogues like you is the day our allies lose all faith in us. But Rox retorts, what, so you'd rather be ground beneath the world government's heel? I'm looking for a way to avoid that. We ought to be equals, every one of us. Now, is that Harold saying that one? I don't know.
That sounds like something Big Mom would say. Maybe that's where she heard
it. Now you're... oh, yeah. So Harold is the one saying he's looking for everyone to be equals, because then Rox says, now you're talking nonsense. Elbaf is a nation of almighty warriors. Anything you don't like, you can just smash to bits. And Shiki is laughing to himself, saying that he appreciates the feast. Stussy, or Buckin, or whatever you want to call her, is remarking that Harold is huge, and Whitebeard's taking a big swig of booze and saying, that's the king of Elbaf. And I love, I suppose, this kind of big-mouthed guy that we're going to meet on the next page, like gulping down these grapes that look like cannonballs. It's very good. And then there's like this gangster dude and a maybe long neck a multiple-chinned person taking a big bite of meat or something.
By the way, we just came from dinner, and we put my daughter on the table just like this. So it's doable.
Cute.
Yeah.
And so on the next spread, Harold continues that's ancient history. Elbaf is changing. We're being good boys and girls now. But Rox says that people's nature doesn't ever change. I know that fighting blood in your veins is bubbling over. Whitebeard says, "Can't we at least eat in peace?" And Harold says, if you people follow this man, only disaster awaits you." And now we're getting a lineup of these pirates here. The mobster Shiki, the future Gold Lion, winner of the future Gold Lion Cup.
His legs are not yet soared.
Yeah, that's true. He's got legs, so I hope he appreciates them.
His face is starting to beard, but his legs are not yet soared.
Yeah, and he says, "Follow this fool? Gee ha ha ha. Don't make me laugh. We're all individuals. If Rox dies, it won't affect the rest of us in the least." And then we see a science robber, an interesting flavor of robber, Miss Buckin, also known as Buckingham Stussy, or Stussy, swigging or having a little glass of wine there. It's nice that they have some people-sized utensils in Elbaf. Maybe they brought them on their ship.
Bring your own human-sized utensils.
Yeah, BYOU.
SU.
Yeah. That's true, but his plan is very appealing to me. We're set to make a killing, heart emoji. And then Gangster of West Blue, Don Marlon, future
godfather,
doctor of
I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Island of Dr. Moreau, saying
Don Brando.
You know
better. Let's call him M.
all
Brando,
about.
or that's too obvious. Marlon B.
Yeah. So Don Marlon is his name. Marlon, I suppose. You know about Fullaled, that island of exiles? They call it the Pirate Island. They ship out all the hardened criminals there that countries can't handle in their own prisons. Yeah, great idea to put them all together in one place. And then on the following page, we see a very familiar face, the pirate Edward Newgate, the future Whitebeard, but he's still got that impressive stash at this point, saying that it was supposed to be a deserted island without food where the damned simply wait to die. And then here's one of our new faces, the pirate guru, Wang Ji, I suppose, future Commodore of Pirate Island. And they say, but in recent years, we've survived and built up a settlement there. How do you think that happened? As they're kind of slurping with a forked tongue, interestingly. And we can talk about who we think these people are later. In the last panel of all these introductions here, a simple pirate smuggler, Ganzui, is having quite a feast with drool and bits of food going everywhere, really Cookie Monstering it up, saying, it turns out that there's a gold lode under that island. When the criminal underworld found out, they rushed to help mine it, and the prisoners made themselves a fortune. The government's seeing red. Whew. That was exhausting. Okay, so, and then these last two panels at the bottom, Rox is saying that the island's crawling with vicious brigands, and he wants to get anywhere near it, and they'll rob you blind. So we made a deal with the government. I says to them, if we get that island back, how much will you give us? If they're willing to pay us, sure, we'll go raid Pirate Island and split the treasure between us. It seems kind of like early inklings of warlords, right? With these
and Blackbeard's plan too, which is very similar.
But we ain't giving the government the island or the prisoners. I'm gonna rule over Fullaled, and I'll get those idiots who live there to help me build a pirate's paradise. Can't you see? Just see the dumbfounded looks on the government's and Navy's faces. Vo ha 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 ha.
Wasn't that Big Boss's plan from Metal Gear?
Sort of.
Golfer.
So we jump to just Rocks making the same face for the fourth time in the same chapter. But he says, "This is just the prologue to my life. With that island as my base, I'll wipe out the Navy and bring the Holy Land to its knees. And in the end, I'll be the king of the world." Harold responds to him, "You're making an enemy out of the entire world. It's too much to handle." Rock says, "Go ahead and doubt me. Sooner or later, someone's going to do it. There's no authority in the world that lasts forever. Let's go, Harold. If we team up, we're unstoppable." And then we cut over to Loki as a kid looking real happy. The first smile we've seen from him the entire time, maybe other than when he was raiding the little village and beating up Hajrudin. "Save your breath. I'm a king." He says, "You think I care? Let's go and take over the world." And then we hear Loki say, "The world?" And the next thing Loki knew, his outlook on life had been saved. 4 years later, after Harold ignored repeated invitations, Rox finally carried out his plan. The formidable lineup that joined him caused the world to quake with terror. Let's get going, boys.
And now we see the sail from his ship with the skull on it, and that skull with the 3 teeth on it also appears on Blackbeard's flag.
Oh, does it?
I think they have that type of... I have to look, but I thought they had that motif generally in more places than just that. And we've seen this flag before during... It was, I think, during the Egghead flashback that we saw it. But yeah, the manga's off next week. We'll be doing our Volume 112 recap, I think. So look forward to that. But
Story
let's talk
time
about
with
this
Steven.
week's chapter.
Good times.
Yeah. Let's talk about this week's chapter. Golfer, what did you think?
I really loved this sequence of kind of lore piece we've been having, because Oda is moving at a breakneck pace compared to pre-time skip. We'd still be stuck in the fake sunroom Lego room if we were taking the level of pace that he had back then. And I like that it's kind of a culmination of someone experiencing what it's like to be outside of the world government without being an actual pirate. So we get to kind of see, while Rox is kind of the big person to show up here, we get to see Harold being desperate to try and live with self-determination for not only Elbaf, but everybody else around him, and just seeing how impossible it is to go up against this global hegemonic superpower that gets to decide absolutely everything for everyone. They won't even hear him out. They light him on fire. They won't even talk to the king of the giants. They lit him on fire out of an 800-year grudge. And it was just sick to see kind of Rox in action. He's almost exactly like what you would think, but he almost seems more pure of heart in terms of just, I want to rule the world, than even Blackbeard is. It's just one mission, gung-ho.
And he taught Loki to fill the void inside of him with the desire to dominate.
Mm-hmm. I do think that the Rox pirate Jolly Roger, that's probably the weakest one, though. You're going to spell the whole word out on there?
Yeah. I also don't like that it's just the word rocks.
I don't like that at all.
I would just have a cool spelling.
He's playing homage to
and...
the best Naruto opening.
I want a rocks. Muneni rocks.
It's the replacing O's with skulls also reminds me of the Goonies.
That's what they act like.
Could be that. Any other thoughts on the chapter, Golfer?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Ed, thoughts?
This is definitely making me more. I'm anticipating sort of what the split between, or what causes Loki to lose faith in his father. And it already seems like Rox's ideology has sort of supplanted Harold's ideology. With because Harold was we all want to be on the same level, existing. No one is, right? Not necessarily not to dominate, but everyone is going to see eye to eye. But Rox is going to be king of the world, like Jack from Titanic, and that seems to have inspired him. You can sort of see where Rox shows up, and he's the coolest thing that Loki's ever seen. Now he wants to be just like him. But overall, very good chapter. I love to see bits of the old reverie and Emu just mooing around.
That's a good use of that.
Yeah.
But
Any
yeah,
other thoughts?
hopefully this flashback continues next time.
Mm-hmm. It's
I
gotta.
think it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be a weird place to leave off.
Yeah, that's kind of all I've got to say.
All right, Vera.
We're losing Loki to the alt-right pipeline, which is targeting lonely young men.
How dare you say that about Ross?
Rox is a libertarian. Is that what we're saying?
You know what?
Well, he
You
is
know
grooming
what?
children.
Okay.
No, he's not that bad. I don't know. Maybe. No, I'm kidding.
He did slash a child.
Yeah, he's
defenseless child.
Yeah.
Defenseless
No,
evil child.
Okay, we don't know. He's not evil.
He's a little
He's a
baby.
Yeah. Just because his eyes look evil doesn't mean he's evil.
Yeah. He's just not his fault.
I agree with
I really
you.
like it. I felt like in so many of the chapters lately have felt so short. In this one, I kept being like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're getting more," which was really exciting. I'm really excited to see where this is going. As I was reading and we were seeing some of the Rocks pirates, I had the moment where I had to go to you guys and be like, "Who the fuck are these men? Have I forgotten? Have I wiped these people from my
Didn't
memory?"
see Captain John.
But no, I
We'll
wasn't
get to
supposed to
that,
know
yeah.
who they are, which felt great because I was getting worried. I
No,
left
you
out-
were supposed to know who they
And
are.
Gloriosa wasn't there either.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll get there. Anyway, go ahead, Vera.
like who the fuck is Whitebeard, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Hmm.
When they mentioned the Davy back fight, I did laugh out loud. I thought that was really cute. Continue to give us Davy back fight, please. I don't know. I've been loving Elbaf so far, so I'm really excited to see where this continues to go. Oh, and friend of the podcast, Melon T, was talking about a lot of people have been comparing Loki's upbringing to Sanji's, where they're like, oh, they were both abused, and like they're kind of like opposites in the way where Sanji's family didn't like him and rejected him, but he chose to hold on to the idea that he'd be loved. But Loki is fully like, embracing it's not happening. But Mel mentioned, she was like, it feels more like Ace to me, where you have this like figure that your father figure where you're like determined by. And I'm like, I don't know if they're going for that parallel, but I thought that was like an interesting thing that she had brought up. I don't know. But
I don't know if you're trying to spark discussion, but
it's okay.
Feels like the Japanese absentee father thing. Like even if he likes you, he's still not there.
Yeah.
I think
If I'm hurt, Dad's not coming back just for that.
Yeah.
That was sad.
Which was so sad.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
we discussed
go ahead.
this. Sorry, Vera. We discussed this a bunch last week, but I think this arc, but particularly this flashback, is the most direct discussion of absenteeism, absentee parenting we've gotten in the series. Whether or not Oda knows that is the thing that he's doing or not is one. It feels much more explicit than anything else we've got, and it really feels like a 180. I said this last week. I'll repeat it because I think it is interesting. It is a 180 from what we had at the beginning of the series with Yasop and so on. There's just a lot of,
And then later on, we
like,
saw also Luffy and Ace with their fathers who didn't stick around either.
yeah, but there was like a glorifying of like you're going out on an adventure, like damned your fatherly duties, But that was also, Oda wrote that when he was like 19. So he probably also just had very different opinions than he does today, and it shows.
I think Oda was 22 when the series was serialized.
It's the 28th anniversary this week, so you could do the math there. Yeah.
Well, he was born January 1st, 1975, right?
He really born on New Year's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Golfer, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Mr.
I was just gonna
Doublefinger.
say, it feels like a perspective change on the absentee father stuff, where I imagine the guy, I mean, he has a daughter, right? I know he has
Two.
at least two kids. But he writes One Piece. Like, it's a notoriously grueling schedule to do weekly manga. And, you know, having the dad that has all this responsibility.
Hashtag pray for Oda and his many health problems.
But he's got the world riding on him, and he feels it and he knows it, and he has to keep doing his job. But he's got a son that he wishes he could be with, and really kind of provide for. But he just can't. He's literally trying to hold together non-world government kingdoms. At times, for Elbaf earlier, from the brink of collapse. So I don't know. It kind of feels like that perspective switch of like, oh, maybe they're not just absentee fathers because like they want to be. Maybe they have to be.
Yeah, I that definitely comes across, and maybe it's just because I finished up Andor last night that it's in my head. But like I think especially like today, as a father, there's always the should I focus more on what I need to do to try and help make a better world, even if it hurts. Like that, even hypothetically in my head, like, oh, if I did this to help people, but then I would be, forsaking my kids, and that should be the top priority. Sorry, that series has a lot of that, so it's in my head. I think you're absolutely right that's in Oda's head as well. Again, whether it's explicit or not, I have to assume it is, because like the fact that Loki's inner monologue and sometimes outer monologue here is, like, he doesn't care about me. He has his own things to do. I'm not important. That is like, it feels like very new kind of territory. Like Robin and her mom.
It's also interesting to see, like, Harold's like, if I team up with pirates, my allies will lose faith in me. It's interesting that he would think that. Like, they don't, I guess they value they value being part of the government, or
no, they're trying to connect with the world as much as possible, and he's trying not to burn bridges.
Pirates are seen as like thieves and like people who are terrorists, basically.
Yeah,
he's trying to like break away from might makes right, especially when his flashback first starts. Like, he literally kicks in a castle in a kingdom, and then eventually a woman has to come and get him to come back to reality.
Skanking all over that castle.
Yeah,
with his weird walk.
Yeah, look, we all, Joey, thoughts on the chapter?
Yeah, wow, what a dense chapter. It's on the shorter end, a page count. Like, it's only, I think, 15 pages of comics, but it like took longer for me to read this chapter than a lot of recent chapters. And it's not just like word count, because there are a lot of words, but like there's a lot to take in the visuals as well. A lot of like, now who is this? What do you think this means? And things like that. We haven't completely broken down these three new characters that we're looking at. Don Marlon obviously seems, if not to be Capone's relative, then at least like maybe his boss or something like that, or his predecessor in the gang. Did
you say
world.
West Blue? I don't know where Capone is from. I don't remember.
And then this Wang Ji character is interesting. I've seen comparisons to Caribou being thrown around.
West Blue, by the way.
Definitely
he was from the West Blue.
Have that look about them. And it's an unappealing character design for sure. But
what was that?
Interesting.
That Navy Vice Admiral we saw, an egghead Red King with the many chins.
The 14 chins rather than 3.
Yeah.
Their name kind of made me think of the Kano Kingdom, because it sounds, Chinese-ish in origin.
Wasn't it after a kaiju like character or something?
The Red King
I think was,
character.
Yes.
Yeah. They also have that kind of like Red King thumb head look thing going on, which is interesting. And then Ganzui is also, like, my first thought with Ganzui initially was Apu, but he doesn't have the multiple joints. like the Longard tribe. Alex had said that he reminded him of Lucky Roo, which is interesting. But then friend of the show, Ken pointed out that there's a zombie in Thriller Bark that basically looks exactly like this guy. Which is like a elephant centaur or something like that. And so it'll be interesting to see if he's that, because it's just kind of like he's one of the only characters that doesn't have like a little parenthetical under their name, and they don't obviously look like any other characters. And so it's kind of like, who is this guy? It just feels weird to have one guy on the crew that doesn't seem to be fated for, some great lineage or something like that. So I'm very interested to know who this guy is and why Oda is including him.
I like to imagine that when they were doing the Davy back fights, they're just like, this guy looks fucked up. I want that one.
Yeah. And he's a smuggler, which is an interesting kind of variation on pirates. And let's see. I love that speaking of the Davy back fight, I love that being pulled back into the story, even with a little montage of the games being
was that
played.
Rox being a follower of, not follower, but a fan of Davy Jones.
Mm-hmm. That is interesting. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that with all of you. Is this the first time Davy Jones has been mentioned in One Piece?
No.
I don't recall.
Great. Thank you for mentioning that, because I want to thank our very own Sai and Ken for like collecting these materials in their discussions this week. It's pretty crazy, but it was very explicitly mentioned by Robin in
the first person on the sea to be called a pirate.
So, well, here we go. This is what Robin says in the lead up to the Davy back fights back in volume 31, something like that. Anyway, Robin says, that's right. It began long ago on Pirate Island, which is mentioned back then, and I never clocked that. Mm-hmm. A pirate paradise somewhere in the ocean. In order to get the best sailors, pirates stole pirates from each other. Nami asks, pirates stole pirates, and says, how can you be a pirate and not know that? This is Foxy responding. Davy back fights is a contest for crew members, and then continues from there. There's also a discussion in the SBS with Oda saying the words Davy back don't exist even in legend. The Davy back fight is a game that exists only in the world of One Piece. But as for Davy Jones's locker, it's a legend that's been famous among sailors for a long, long time. Volume 33, as told in Volume 33. There are several different versions, but basically it goes like this. There once was a lying, no good pirate named Davy Jones. He was a greedy fellow, famous for shutting his crewmates' belongings and treasure and such into his own locker. Even for a pirate, he was a bad guy. And then one day, the devil cursed him to live forever on the ocean floor. Since that time, whenever ships, sailors, or treasure sink into the sea, they end up shut in his locker on the ocean floor and never seen again. That's the legend. So there you go.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes my brain go in a few different directions.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you think of devil fruits and about how they're constantly pulling people to the bottom of the sea, and wondering if that could have some sort of relation to Davy Jones. But also, what we always kind of say about Blackbeard being the kind of most piratey pirate, it's like kind of perfect that his dad was a worshiper of Davy Jones and maybe passed that on to Blackbeard himself, and is kind of worshiping this kind of very famous piratey pirate in our history, but also in apparently in One Piece's history as well.
It just makes me think about who Blackbeard's mother could be. We haven't seen anything like that in this chapter.
Sure,
but
yeah,
the more we see of Rox.
For those interested in a Wikipedia wormhole here, the legend goes back to 1726. At least in nautical folk tales. But that it could have been related to Jonah from the Bible, even, as a euphemism, but not euphemism. Metaphor, whatever. Analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pirate Island on that last page there, I don't know if they're just approaching it from behind, but I would kind of like it if the rock on top of Full of Lead isn't carved like a skull yet, because whatever battle hasn't made that happen or something like that. But it's interesting that the formation on top is in the right shape, but doesn't have those like eyes and teeth and stuff.
It's
yeah,
Sanji's hair covering his eyes. This is giant Sanji sculpture.
It always comes back to Sanji. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying you and Mel lived on this island in the past.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, cool chapter. Definitely very dense. A lot of stuff to dig into. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion from the fans and stuff too. So I'll just stop.
Yeah. I mean, I think I interrupted and said a lot of things that I wanted to say. I think we've mentioned the Thriller Bark connections with the Rocks pirates in the past. I would not be surprised if the Ganzui guy is related to the... You know who he reminds me of? Marvin Monroe from The Simpsons. That's what he looks like there in that one panel where he's introduced.
Yeah, he's actually 25 years old.
You know, I'll trail off. Wang Ji, someone I think Ken mentioned looked like
someone hit him in the groin with a football.
Yeah, Wang Ji kind of. I see the caribou connections there, and I don't like it. Also, like elfin ears and like a cleft tongue or something.
Forked.
Forked. Okay, whatever. I don't want to talk about his tongue anymore. I'm sorry I brought it up. The Marlon Brando lookalike is an excellent character design. I love all of the... It should have been obvious that it's West Blue because I forgot West Blue is analogous to, the Western world in real
If anyone's a member of South Park, he might be a member of the North American Marlon Brando lookalikes.
I don't remember that. But yeah. I do very much enjoy his design. I enjoy the whole, what do you call it? Gangster, mafioso kind of elements of the One Piece world. And I am looking forward to hopefully seeing more of that. Maybe in a spinoff. That would be a spinoff I'd watch. I'll say that right now.
Except in Wano, where the gangsters look like old-timey Yakuza, because of course they would. Well,
I mean,
yeah,
that's fun too.
Right.
There are video game series about that.
Yeah.
I'm curious how Shiki kind of fits into the canon.
When does he get captured?
New.
Yeah, he goes to impel down.
Does he? Because he's like a canon character who kind of exists outside of it as well.
Right.
Yeah, but the detail that he went to impel down was in the manga.
That was
and escaped.
And escaped. Yeah. The big question I have as far as the Rocks pirates are, do any of you think Rocks is still alive today?
I feel like this is, at least with all the different theorists we have over in my neck of the woods, this is the most debated thing is, does he have the op fruit and turned himself, gave himself the perpetual life surgery, but that's what turned him into Blackbeard, is like, because the reveal of...
I thought it was said that Garp and Roger band together and killed Rocks, or defeated him.
I don't think... They said they defeated him, but they never said they killed him. And I feel like with how death works in One Piece, Oda is very intentional. Like, if someone is dying, like, we know it for a fact. And I always thought it was really weird on the previous chapter when we get introduced, Oda just says, Father of Blackbeard. Like, I feel like that's such a weird way to state that information specifically that it almost feels like a misdirect. Like, a father in a spiritual sense could eventually come around. They look just alike. But I'm not sure.
I always go back to that childhood drawing of Blackbeard where he's like crying underneath the moon. And if he's just the reincarnation of Rocks, I wonder how that would fit in with that, or if he's maybe unaware of that or something.
This is also 48 years ago.
It does feel like that would fit in more with the canon of him being like abandoned by his dad or waiting for his dad to come back or something like that.
Sorry, I interrupted. Okay, he's 40. How is Blackbeard 40? Because I was going to say I thought he was alive at this point, but he's not. Yeah, I almost feel like for whatever reason, maybe Blackbeard like enveloped, or rocks. I feel like it's the other way around, if anything. I don't know. Like, why would they make Blackbeard a warlord knowing this?
Would they?
Why? I know I'm positing it rhetorically. Like,
Are they stupid? Maybe.
They're definitely a little bit stupid, but are they
commentary
that
on
stupid?
complacent governments?
Yeah. Autocracies.
Or thinking that they could keep an eye on him that way or something like that.
I do think they have that approach with, at least that's how I see Fujitora. So like that would be like one example of like that's like a war criminal who's very anti government.
That's a very popular sort of meme question to ask of like being pedantic about movies. Like, why would the character do this? Are they stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I mean more here is that for Blackbeard, his whole plan pre-time skip seemed to revolve around the fact that he was a nobody. You know what I mean? He had a zero bounty. Mm-hmm. Like, he was like, the whole thing was, how are we going to convince the government to make me a warlord so then I could sneak into Impel Down and steal a whole bunch of people?
True. Yeah.
And if he were just the son of Rocks and it were obvious and he looked just like him, let's say, wouldn't he have just been able to use that Nepo baby baggage?
But
to
are we?
Go in
We're
and...
assuming that he would then be in their favor. Like, am I forgetting? I thought.
Well, Rocks is noted for being against the government at every turn.
Why would he have? I guess so. Is the capture of Ace, so favorable to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that's what they definitely were expressing.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it's just that we all have the same thing as you, Vero, and we all like same faces, in One Piece. And they're like, he looks like every other guy,
Mm-hmm.
like all those Blackbeard looking guys, it could be anyone. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious how this fits into place, and Oda clearly has an idea here, and we're just like halfway through this flashback or whatever it is, and we just don't see the full picture yet.
Don't worry. In 2 chapters, he's going to introduce a lovely woman who's going to be like, leave your pirating ways and then have a baby with me. And he's going to be like, yeah, of course. Yeah. And she'll fix him.
And then one last run.
And then she'll die.
Exactly.
It could be Big Mom, since Big Mom has had how many kids? I mean, just mathematically, it's very likely.
I thought her children were accounted for.
It is interesting. All of them? All 143
yeah,
children?
I do.
That had?
They were over the other night. We were having a blast.
So yeah, we don't have Captain John yet in the crew. We don't have Lin or Kaido yet. It's interesting to see what's going on at this point. And his crew, the Davy backfight thing, I feel like we talked about it actually kind of recently being a potential angle and how fun that would be, because for some reason a lot of the fan base does not enjoy the Davy backfight stuff. That's not the case here, but
I think it's because the anime really dragged it out farther than what the manga did.
Well, they literally doubled the arc.
Yeah,
they doubled the amount of fights, and you can kind of tell when you go back and look at them. You're like, okay, Oda didn't think these ones up. Like, you guys are you're skating in a circle.
The manga is thousands of times better than the anime. Not that there isn't
definitely
some
tighter
good stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely good stuff in the anime too. For that,
the red light, green light was silly.
I don't know. Those are fun in
Yeah,
retrospect.
I think it just has that same, a kind of similar quality to why some people dismiss Skypiea, where like at the time it feels kind of not connected to everything, and obviously
everything's connected.
Everything is, but it's the same with the Davy backfight. It almost like feels like quote unquote filler. Like it's
all
just like
the
kind
pieces
of silly...
matter.
But what about aura and hype moments?
But I just think that that's why people kind
For
of
sure.
dismiss it or not interested in it.
Yeah, I think, but this is a really good example of why not to dismiss those things as a One Piece fan. Not to say that every little thing has significant importance, but at the very least, and I think I also discussed this last week, Oda has the uncanny ability to make something look like it was planned the whole time, to the point where you don't really know whether or not it actually was. This totally might have been planned the whole time. It's also totally possible that Oda said, I'm going to pick that story element out here, I'm going to expand it. Either way, I was a big fan of at least the manga version of the Davy back fights. I watched it when I first watched it. You know, I get the issues with it, but I especially as we near the end of the series, I really enjoy those just fluffy moments. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, not fillery, but
it's some of the best,
Let's
like,
have fun.
Sanji and Zoro, like, going back and forth at each other when they have to win their game. Like, it's some of the best, like, little character moments that you get.
Yeah.
Luffy picking the horse over Chopper and having to start the whole thing. I know that's how the filler starts, but that was so funny. Like, that's such a good thing to do.
Yes,
that was
horse.
a funny filler.
I feel like so many people constantly, specifically, I see people say all the time that they miss when Zoro was silly, and I'm like, okay, well then you have to go watch Davy back fight, because you did get really silly Zoro there.
Zoro's silly. He just is. He's self-serious, which makes
He
him
slips
funnier.
and falls into a chimney.
Oh yeah, but he's serious about it. He does not. He's like like an actor in Airplane who everything is silly around him, but he isn't in on the joke. Anyway, thank you, Ed, for coming on. Bye. And we'll I think that'll do it for our manga recap. Why don't we move into our next segment? This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, theories, and then we bring our own human answers to them. Yeah, okay, I'll stick with that. Vero, what's our first segment? Do you know what it is?
I can't do the Dis Piece. I'm not doing the. I don't. What's the reference you guys do with Dis Piece?
I don't think it's a reference.
It's not a reference. You just.
I think it's just a super low voice.
Yeah. Okay.
Dis Piece.
I know one of them you guys do is like a strong bad thing or whatever, but.
That's emails, but I'm not going to make it.
Sorry, yeah, that was before my time. Okay, so I'm sorry.
What? No one sees me shaking my head at you that you don't get Homestar Runner
Zach is
references.
shaking his head at
You're
me
just,
for
like,
being
calling
born
me
in
out here.
1995.
Oh,
Okay, she
I
can.
was in elementary school. Yeah, go ahead.
She can science rob cram any day. Hold on, she can science rob cram any day. Okay, I forgot.
Cram
that
is the person's name, and they turned
I
it
forgot
into a
that we were
science
science
robber
robbing
thing.
because
And
Joey.
they're
I
talking
also.
about Susie. Yeah.
What the fuck kind of job is that?
Yes.
Ahoy,
Science
OPP.
robbing?
Sounds like
It's
something
a
out of the
great
Venture
job.
Brothers.
Yeah.
It is a Venture Brothers thing. You're right.
It
That's what that
is, yeah.
sounds like.
Okay. Ahoy, OPP. Banger chapter as always. I'm absolutely buzzing as back when we first learned Whitebeard was on Rox's crew and nobody liked or listened to Rox. I called that he won the Davy back fights. I'm so pleased all these years later that I was correct. Is it just me or does Wangzi look like he could be Caribou or Caribou's dad? Have a lovely week.
Maybe this is where I saw that. Maybe everyone just is having the same ideas.
Yeah.
So Cram, I don't
man,
know
the
if
theory
it was...
that he's actually Caribou himself is interesting. I hadn't considered that. He'd be hella old at this point, but
Well,
yeah.
Weirder
this would
things have
also...
happened.
If Wang Ji is somehow still alive, which he might be, somehow it's not really that ridiculous. Maybe that's the person that Caribou wants to tell, and maybe that's why Caribou has an affinity to Blackbeard, is because he knows that his father or whatever
Hung out with my
was once a
daddy.
crew member.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, they're all Nepo babies, though.
They are.
And
Every
is the
single
Commodore
one of them.
of Fullwood, right?
My Hot One
Does
Piece
anyone have an
take-
unremarkable parent?
The more Oda gives us, oh, this person's parent was famous, the more disappointed I get. I really am not a huge fan of stories where it's like, and you are famous. I'm like,
But wait,
I wanted these people to be nobodies.
If everyone is the kid of a famous person,
it doesn't
isn't
help.
nobody
No
the kid of a famous? Yeah, like
we're all special.
No,
Nobody
not
is.
enough.
Yeah.
It was for me with Ace. I was like, yeah, whatever, that works.
Well,
This
that
is
was
my little
fun.
Pookie
That was
bear, and
ridiculous.
I can, yeah.
Pookie.
He's my Pookie Bear Supreme.
He's dead.
No, he's not. Not in the world I'm living in.
I want to live in that world.
The alternate ending where Sabo comes in and saves them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, that.
Yes, exactly.
Oda knows what you want, Vero, and
He
yet
does.
won't give it to you.
And that's okay. I live on AO3.
That's why you don't
okay.
subscribe to his Patreon.
Nope.
We know.
No. Anyway, King Doji says, "Hey OPP, I'm seeing a lot of Luffy and Rocks, and he seems like he might not be so bad?" Question mark. Feels weird to say about probably one of the baddest baddies in the series. Me talking about Nami and Robin. It also makes me question even more what was so heinous that he was doing that Roger felt like he had to stop Rocks. Okay, everybody keeps being like, Rocks seems kind of cool. Am I missing? I was like, he said he wants to rule the world, but not in the way where like Luffy says it. I'm like, this guy just is looking at the celestial dragons is like, I want to do that, but for me. That's the vibe that I got. Maybe I'm wrong. This guy looks
That's
The
like
what
thing
I
that
got
I've been
for
thinking.
sure.
Go ahead, Golfer.
Oh, the one thing about him is he seems to be in the same vein as Luffy, the pirate's pirate. Like everybody's got like goals or intent. Like Luffy just wants to be the pirate king so that he can then accomplish his dream, whatever that is. And then Rox is just all about being a pirate. Like there's nothing else that we've even seen him mention other than I want to rule the world, which is just like he just wants to accumulate wealth and power. Like he does want to be a celestial dragon, but like on his terms of just being a pirate.
For sure. And that I can rock with.
I feel like
Shall we?
the more we learn about Rox, the more I'm kind of leaning towards assuming that we're going to be getting a more sympathetic twist for Blackbeard himself, where we're kind of like, well, he had a bad dad and, you know, whatever, is possibly an experiment from his dad, et cetera, et cetera. And so, yeah, I definitely kind of am now, especially now that we've got Emu as this kind of ultimate bad. I think that the more we build up not only Rox, but Blackbeard's backstory, eventually, I think we're heading towards him eventually being, if not someone who like teams up with Luffy, then at least someone who we're like sympathetic for and has kind of a tragic twist to his story.
It's going to be
know,
hard for me to feel bad for Blackbeard.
I don't think Oda wants us to be sympathetic to Blackbeard. I think Oda certainly wants us to, in like the way of Kizaru, like we were talking about at the beginning, like I think he wants us to enjoy like a 3-dimensional character, but I think he is supposed to be, you know, when all is said and done, a bad guy, you know, an antagonist, and more importantly, someone who's trying to undermine what Luffy is trying to do, ultimately.
I don't know if it's... sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, go for it.
I don't know if it's blasé to mention other manga on the One Piece podcast, but
It is not.
there's a piece of the Succession War arc in Hunter x Hunter where we get the backstory of the Phantom Troop, and it's like a really moving piece about them and like their upbringing, but ultimately they're still the Phantom Troop, and it like snaps you right back to just exactly who they are. You go back to Kurapika immediately after their chapters, so it kind of feels like that could be a way that we're going, where it's like you will feel bad for him for like the 5 chapters we get in this backstory, and you can somewhat understand his actions, and then it snaps back to him to killing innocent people.
Sure.
Like it's
Yeah.
that's who his character will ultimately be.
I think, and I think that actually,
still murder.
yeah, it's like it creates, I think, a more 3-dimensional character when you see that, because many people who are like do very evil things may have like reasons for why they do those things, but that's not an excuse for their behavior. I think it gives story-wise a 3-dimensionality to it. Like I think of Doflamingo here. Like he is someone we got a backstory to, and the backstory was he's always been evil. He's just a scumbag. And I did not personally enjoy that as a, backstory kind of explanation for it. Arlong, similarly, he's just always been kind of a racist scumbag. But with that, they kind of left it alone. Like, we don't go too deep into why, which is good, I think. Sometimes the less said, the better. And I don't know. I'll see what happens here with Blackbeard, but I don't think he's going to look sympathetic. I think it will just give reason for what he's doing a little bit more. I mean, I think the scary part about Blackbeard is just not knowing. It's just like the mystery around him. Mm-hmm. Because like
by the end of the series, you guys are all going to be crying about Blackbeard. Mark my words.
No, I think you might be right. In that, like,
I'm crying during the backstory,
right?
Yeah,
and then you'll see, he's doing really evil shit. Like, look, Sakazuki may have had, like, we don't know, but that doesn't, just because they had a really tragic story doesn't make them good people at the end. The way that's different from like the Straw Hats, or like, let's say someone like Robin, having a truly tragic backstory, is that it like contrasts with, how they are taking that tragedy and bringing it through life, which it like goes to show that tragedy is not an excuse for bad behavior. Like having, trauma in your past, in real life and in the series, like for the Straw Hats, they all have had these immensely awful things happen to them, probably. I guess we don't know in every single case, but they make it through stronger, and they work through it and struggle through it, but they are at the end of the day good people, which is why they are the protagonists of the series, or reindeer or fish,
which is why Sanji should leave women alone.
So what was the question? Forgot the original.
Oh, we had
I think
it.
we could go on to the next one.
Usopp the Great says, "Hey ho, OPP, great chapter, pages 12 to 13. We're so close. But when do you think Oda will again do a real, full 2-page spread? Ever again? It'll happen."
I'm trying to remember the last time he did like a true one.
It's for sure happening in the fight on Elbaf. We may get one sooner than that with Rox's backstory if we get more of that, but for sure the fight between Luffy and Gunko and the whole crew up there's got to be a double spread in there.
I mean, the thing
Maybe
is,
like,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just like when we reveal the One Piece or something like that, like something where it's because a lot of his 2-page spreads will then have like a row of panels on the side or something like that, and I think what this person's asking for is like a true, just like one image that spans across both pages.
Believe it or not, someone on Reddit collected every single 2-page spread. I don't even like believe this. This is nuts. Through chapter 1053. And I'll let you know if I see any. Get back to me in a few months and I'll let you know what I find.
I'm sure he's saving it for something big. I also, with the kind of schedule that he works, don't ever expect stuff like that at this point.
Well, it would be easier for him. Like, I've been reading like Akane Banashi, and which is great and highly recommend. But like, he's the author and artist are so much less economical with their space, which is good for that series. Like, Oda needs to use every nook and cranny and everything. Like, I think it's more that he doesn't want to devote 2 pages at this point to like one thing. And one thing alone, with no reactions or no anything else. Or
I wasn't going to agree, but you're right.
I have.
Okay.
Look,
next
I'm
question.
Looking through these, I haven't found any.
Well,
yet. Yeah, go ahead.
It's okay. Yuri Geller's Big Spoon Slay says, "Hello, my fellow gold diggers. Oh my God, this chapter rocks. No, wait, sorry. This chapter heavily features rocks. My bad. Man, this chapter rocked. What a crew the Rocks pirates were. Some guy who just eats with their mouth open. The least subtle Marlon Brando reference I've ever seen. Caribou's dad, question mark. Another person who also can't close their goddamn mouth while eating and talking. I thought pirates were meant to be civilized. Anywho, in order to make the crew more chaotic, which pirate from another crew, past or present, would you add to make them even more chaotic? Thanks and have a great week. I gotta go chase down this flaming giant. It's actually a pretty cute question. What would add the chaos? I'm gonna pick a straw hat because I feel like that's an obvious
that makes it fun. Luffy would make that pretty chaotic.
Yeah, well, yes.
Let's be honest.
My heart says Zoro.
No, Zoro.
I want to see Zoro have a Sanji moment, like with one of them or whatever. Or I think that his silliness could really shine there.
I mean, Usopp would try and take over somehow.
Yeah.
Which would be funny. Luffy is the most chaotic on the Straw Hat crew, so I feel like by the transitive property, yeah. By the way, I'm looking at these color spreads. The 2-page spreads. So crazy enough, Ace dying, not a full 2-page spread. I have the rest of my crew kind of a full 2-page spread because he's thinking about them. Luffy punching the Celestial Dragon was a full 2-page spread in Sabaody. That might legitimately like be the last one where it's just like one action. I'm just still shocked that Ace didn't get one. Like that feels, I get what. Anyway, at the beginning, all the time, like the pistol with the Lord of the Coast. That was a full one.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy doing that really cool kick, and with I think Zoro doing it, the other thing in Morgan's that was one. Mihawk splitting the galleon, I think.
He's just handing them out for anything back then.
Yeah. But it's really crazy that the last one I was able to find was that one, the Sabaody one, which deserved, but
yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I would have thought much more recent. Okay.
Yeah, he's saving it.
Maximum chaos, post-smile fruit killer. Just having a guy sitting there laughing the entire time, I have to imagine it drives Whitebeard nuts.
Oh, yeah, true. Oh, my God. That would drive me nuts.
It's just lucky that kid loves him so much. Does not matter.
Yeah, how does Killer hold in the laughing all the time? Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Oh, no, he got the smile fruit. They gave it to him after they went to Wano, right? That's the whole... Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. D. There are many Ds. Fried said, "Hey, OPP Platypi. I hope you've been enjoying this flashback as much as I have. I've enjoyed viewing it through a psychoanalytic lens. For example, the atom splits nicely into Freud's view of the psyche, the superego up top, the ego in the middle, and the id down below."
Id,
sorry. Yeah.
The ids of March.
Okay, well, I took a gamble. I knew it wasn't ID. Loki's clearly a child of id.
Oh, the atom tree they mean. I was like so confused.
I thought like particle colliders splitting an atom. I thought that's where we were going at first.
They mean the atom tree, so like the underworld,
Elbaf. Yeah.
Elbaf. Right, that's what we're talking about.
We established id before I embarrass myself.
It's id.
Cool.
Yeah.
Loki's clearly a child of id. He's violent, impulsive, and driven by base instincts. But it's not a life he chose. Loki was booted into the underworld by his unloving mother. Yet it's there that he finds connection. With the wild animals, rocks, and even a transponder snail, pen pal, the underworld becomes his space for emotional nourishment. Like I said, the internet and teenage boys. The role moms and dads are supposed to fill. I don't think it's a coincidence that Loki jumps face first into the underworld when he's at his lowest point. It's his mother substitute. Speaking of mothers, Loki is full of Oedipal imagery. He craves his mother's love, supposedly kills his father, and now haunts the land in a blindfolded curse. But Oda subverts this myth. Loki's actually innocent, and it's his own mother's blindness that curses him. Still, in order to heal, Loki must unshackle himself from the underworld and find real love in the sun world. Luckily, Luffy's there to help. Luffy's also a child of the id, except unlike Loki, his mother figure lived in the jungle with him and he was able to find love with brothers. If he can help Loki repair his relationship with his brother, then maybe he can move forward. Sorry for such a long post. I just love how much Freudian symbolism Oda has packed into his backstory. Do you have any favorite parts of One Piece to psychoanalyze?
I thought that was a really good analysis.
Like, yeah, what else do I say to this?
That was awesome. There's no way to follow that up.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not like, my psychoanalytical ability is not this advanced, so I wouldn't do this justice. But that's really interesting.
I feel like One Piece is a text where you can psychoanalyze Oda.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's easy. We could all do that. That's really interesting, though. I really like that take on Loki's story, especially with his mom. Like, I do love that. It's been a very long time since I've read about the Oedipus story, like in philosophy class in college or something. But yeah, that's an interesting twist on it.
They said, luckily, Luffy's there to help, and I was like, yeah, boyfriends or whatever, right? So that's where
and now we're getting to the...
Yeah, sure. Yaoi Thunderdome's coming.
Let's psychoanalyze Vero.
Psychoanalyze me, sure. Sailor Karna says, hey, OPP, I know this week's discussion is going to be long. Yep. So I just want to ask, how does Loki put on his helmet with his horns? The helmet is metal and the horns curve. And now I'm thinking too much.
This is a Homestar Runner reference here.
The answer is very carefully.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry, yeah. I was about to make...
No, I don't think it actually is a Homestar Runner reference, but it is also.
But it is unintentional.
How do you type with those boxing gloves on your hand? Okay,
cosplayer logic. The horns come off.
Yeah.
I was going for a Jotaro reference, like the horns are part of the hat, but he has horns underneath. Like,
yeah.
Just like when Chopper's hat pops off in Skypiea and the horns are with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's the same logic as Chopper. Like,
for the sake of a cartoon.
It's like Lego logic.
And you know what? That'll be a problem for the live action when they get there in 40 years. Run Roller Around Patch says, OPP, how much of the Davy Back fight that we saw was Foxy's influence? Did Rox wear an afro and sell merch? Did he recruit Big Mom by beating her in the groggy ring? Did he get Gloriosa by playing Red Light, Green Light?
Okay, lots of fans of the Red Light, Green Light.
Yeah, okay.
There was boxing. We saw boxing.
Foxy boxing.
But he doesn't have an afro. That's the only problem.
It's true.
No afro on there.
I have my own question.
Yeah.
If you had to come up with your own Davy Back fight, what would it be?
Ooh.
What game would you play?
Oh.
I was just gonna say I'll let you guys think about your answer for a second. I would have liked Rox's design more if he had an afro.
Sure.
Yeah, I think his design we discussed last week. The more I think about it, it's like it is, what a 16-year-old would think the coolest One Piece character would look like.
And isn't that what Oda is at the end of the day? A 16-year-old boy.
You know what? Yes.
One of my favorite things to see in One Piece is other characters' drawings. So I think a Pictionary round of Davy Back fight would be very fun.
Or telestrations, like where they have to...
And we would lose Robin.
Do you lose the worst?
I don't know.
The one who can't guess.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Ooh, I mean, there are so many endless fun possibilities with that. Just any board game or any regular game.
I was thinking punt pass or punt pass and kick, like when you're a kid, and I just want to see how far somebody like Whitebeard could throw a football. Like, could he get it all the way around the One Piece planet using Conqueror's hockey, and then also if we can bring the Switch in, it's just you got to beat me at Smash. That's there we go. That would be the funnest one for me.
We just bring a Nintendo Switch in. You know what? For this one, we're gonna take out the big guns. There's I feel like you can't have like a bad answer to this, except for Red Light, Green Light. or roller skating. Was the roller derby? Yeah, I gotta think on that one. Not Monopoly. That would be a bad answer.
You'd have them there forever, and then they would just give up.
I know. They all look like Brooke at the end of the Davy back fight there. What else is?
I'd have a burping contest and win. So that's what I would do, which is not a game,
that's
but
a good one. That's
thanks.
a good one.
Yeah, it's very piratey, I think.
You would win that.
Thank you. Yes.
I can't really burp. Is my secret.
That's crazy.
I know. My son is better than
Zorro the ringer in that one?
But he's always drinking sake. Is he ever drinking beer? They ever give him mead?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah. I
great.
think they.
I love
yeah.
mead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was Monopoly your answer, Zach, or do you have a better answer?
Of the worst possible? Monopoly's the worst possible answer I could come up with. A literal Squid Game would be better than
Squid
Monopoly,
Game.
yes. Oh yeah, I could just think of any of that's kind of what all that show is. It's pick kids games and kill people over it. Except for this case, it would be steal them.
I need the listeners to know Zach looks
questions?
So deep in thought in a way that he hasn't the whole episode. This is really weighing on him.
No, that's just how I look.
Yeah.
That's how I
there's
trick
one more.
people into thinking I'm thinking.
Yeah. There's one more question. They actually came in down the wire, just submitted this. SNP says, "Hi, OPP. Maybe this is already late. Don't worry. But if Steven is on this episode, he's not.
He's not.
But we could save it for another time. Guys.
Yeah, why don't we save this for next
Japanese
week since he'll be probably
translation
on.
stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
You were so
It's okay.
close,
I don't
but
care.
so
It's
far.
not my question. No, S&P, thank you for getting that in. But yeah, we'll get to that next week. Let's see what we got elsewhere. Let's see the subreddit archipelago. We don't have... Do we really not have anything? Or is this just... No, I don't think we have anything. So let's see. Blue Sky. Should have done this not on the air. And we got... We definitely have a few. Okay, here we go. Hey, OPP. This is from Ice Fisher Tenacity. What a chapter. My fingers are crossed that both the sub and dub Don Marlin speak like Vito Corleone. Agreed. Which outfit do you like better? Oh, this for Vero, I guess, specific here. Gunko's Holy Knight uniform or her garb as Emu's lady in waiting? I don't know that specific phrase, but yeah.
Gunko is kind of serving cunt. I am like, bitch, where's your pants? But I do really like the mask and the veil. I think that's really fun. So I'm going to lean with that one for right now because it's kind of mysterious. It's kind of spooky. It's more intimidating than an oversized t-shirt.
And we don't know if she has pants under there or not, but
true.
It's at least more modest.
The silhouette did look, a little bit different, but Oda just got so excited drawing all the girls in Egghead that he's like, I gotta find someone I can do that.
I don't get it, and it frustrates me because it also doesn't fit the motif of any of the others. It's just like a woman.
I think he's watching a lot of VTubers is all I gotta say.
I do not watch enough VTubers.
Don't worry about it.
I did not know I don't want to. Next question. Curtis, or Gachi 420 says, "Hey, so OPP, any thoughts on how Rox knew he couldn't do anything to Emu?" Yeah, that whole conversation was very odd, and we didn't actually talk about it a ton. Any thoughts?
It's got to be one of those things. You know how they can just kind of feel it with each other when they're like conquerors, and they just kind of have that ability. Part of me feels like he knows he has no chance up against this person, deity, king on the empty throne.
Yeah, I feel like breaking in and being so casual was a statement in its own way, more so than like attacking them.
In a historic anomaly. Yeah, how did he even know Emu existed? This
is a good question.
One of the biggest questions of that. I mean, is that an answer we're going to find out in this flashback is almost a better question at this point. Who knows? Next question. Captain Piledriver says, my theory is that Blackbeard doesn't actually have a twin he absorbed. I think Rox found a fruit or way to carry on his soul after death or losing his main body, and because he found a way to combine with his child, he can live forever. Or at least...
He's Steven Universe.
Is that the plot of
He
Steven
did
Universe?
this, Steven. Yes. Yeah.
Blackbeard has a big black jewel in his belly button.
Yeah, that's what you never see. Mm-hmm.
But he shows his belly button constantly.
It's a Steven Universe joke.
It's really deep in there.
Wow, that's gross. It's like a big thing of lint, except
Yes.
it's a gem. We're going to have side draw that, right? Nacho, or Teal You Feel It, says, hey, OPP, if you had to defend Buggy as the son of Zabek, like a crackpot theorist, so assuming that, what argument would you use? Such as, Shiki the Golden Lion was placed in Rox's crew as a nod to Richie the Purple Lion. I hope you all have a great summer. So yeah, what is your crackpot reasoning why Buggy has to be Zabek's son?
He saw a hot
You're
clown girl.
That's not how clowns are made.
Buggy's nose is hereditary. He said it. He was born with it.
Maybe it's just Maybelline. I'm sorry.
That's my crackpot theory. An irresistible clown on the Grand Line. I don't know.
get you clown people. I don't get it.
They're popular in Japan. I don't know what you want from me. It's not my
You're
fault.
part of that. It's partially your fault.
Anyone
the most
else?
Most
Yeah, the
crackpot
most
thing I
crackpot.
can think of is a bunch of people were translating Zebek from Vietnamese to English, and it
I
ends
saw
up
that.
as buggy or truck or whatever. My crackpot theory is that Oda assessed the story and went, I forgot any Vietnamese mythology. We're just going to have to yeet this one in there. And that's how we got the name Zebek.
Yeah.
He was like, I've got to find a way to get to shoehorn this one in there. They're going to feel left out.
I like
Power
that.
to
Really
the
good bowl of
Buggy
pho.
fans.
Like, just big day Vietnam wise, and just went for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
maybe-
Buggy fans always win.
Yeah, no shade to
I think-
Vietnam on that one. Just more that Oda has not referenced the Vietnamese language ever, and so it's odd.
So now he's got to do it.
He had to do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it absolutely is the only explanation.
Yes. Can I side note for a
I
second?
think when...
Oh, I'm sorry, Joey.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I just think that when Shiki left and formed his own crew, he met Buggy's real dad, Dr. Indigo, who was a clown himself. The squeaky shoes. The end.
The end.
What
I
were
like
you gonna
it.
say, Vero?
Every time you say Roxas, I think you're saying Roxas, and I keep being like, why are we talking about Kingdom Hearts? And that's going to confuse me for a really long time moving forward.
We have one more piece together question. This refers to last chapter. It came from a few days ago, but it's still, I think, a good one to read. This one comes from Joey Cobalt, who says, I want to thank everyone on the podcast for reviewing the chapters and showing realizations I would miss. Like, who would have known the page break would make me miss the biggest drop in the world? I just saw Rox and thought, neat design. Makes you think, though, how much harder. The son of Blackbeard, or the father of Blackbeard thing.
Mm-hmm.
It did happen right on that page break. If you got like a really bad copy of Shonen Jump in Japan or something, you totally could have missed it. Did you all see that and like immediately when you read it? Or...
So here's the thing. No, Joey, go ahead.
Oh.
Or,
Okay. I remember the previous page is when you see his face for the first time, and I was feeling real smart, being like, that guy looks like Blackbeard. I wonder if that means something. He he he. And then on the next page, I was like, yeah, obviously.
Vera, what were you going to say?
I was reading it on the app, and I read last week's chapter and today's chapter today. And as I'm reading, I'm like, oh wow, that's a huge. I'm glad they left that space. Like they purposefully spaced it out so you don't miss it in the digital. But I read it and I was like, was I supposed to know this already? And had a moment where I was like, fuck. Did I forget it or not? And then I went and looked and I was like, oh, okay, no, I'm supposed to be surprised because there are so many times where I'm like, was I supposed to know that already or no? and it keeps happening. So I'm just gonna keep assuming that I'm actually right in my surprise.
It feels like one of those theories that's lived for so long
Exactly.
that
Yes.
it's like, was this actually ever in a chapter?
Yes. I was having one of those moments where, you're like at a, I don't know, convention meetup or whatever, and someone's like, oh, you like One Piece? Name 5 dads that are like, and I'm like, damn, man, I don't, who the fuck is Caribou? I don't care.
That's correct.
Yes. But that would suck to be, I could see that being printed and then totally missing that.
I thought it was super weird when I was reading it and there was just this giant space. I didn't even think about the physical printing of it. I was just like, is there like a dropped word or something? I don't know.
Yeah, that must also just be, well, I mean, I understand why they do it. Even in the digital version, it's because they're not going to make a whole new version. But yeah, Rocks really is fan theories come to life, for good or for bad. The more I think about it, though, the more it annoys me a little bit. But like, I hope this is mostly true, but I don't want to make a judgment on any decision Oda makes until at least that near-term story is done. So like, I'll make my opinions on Rocks more solidified once we're like out of the flashback, and to see like all of why he looks and acts the way he does, and why the whole thing with Blackbeard. I'm right now very skeptical though about just him. He like always kind of felt like the MacGuffin. What was the word we used? The Rorschach Rocks, kind of like he's whatever you want him to be, and he kind of ended up being that.
Oda's Schrodinger pirate.
Schrodinger, yeah.
He existed in all states, whatever you needed to fill it in for your theory.
He is, and he hasn't been given enough dimensionality for me yet. Like a lot of people who said that they like saw Luffy in him, I don't at all at this point. I might
think he's just going to be
my
evil
words in 2 weeks. He just seems like whatever. Like he hasn't like I haven't seen his personality blossom at all. Like Blackbeard is a very interesting character with interesting 3-dimensionality to him. We don't know a lot about him, but he still is that. And I think most One Piece villains have that. However, we've seen Rocks for a chapter and a page. Like, it's not enough for me to, sorry, I don't know why that turned into that. That'll do it for Piece Together. Why don't we round off the show? This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 877 for July 21st. Thank you all so much for coming on the show. As we noted, the manga's off next week. Unless Steven has some San Diego Comic-Con duties, we will probably be doing the volume 112 SBS recap, where Steven, the official translator of the series, will help us go through the SBS questions. And we'll see if there's anything interesting in there. I do not spoil myself before those, and I recommend you don't either if you can. And we'll be back on the 27th with Chris Dobbins. And then it's Oban after that. So I think the Shonen Jump is off on August 3rd. So we'll probably have an SGS that week, which is with Steven and Greg, who's the One Piece live action series advisor, amongst many other things. So please check that out in 2 weeks, probably. But before all that, please join our sticker club and Patreon at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. We did it before Oda. It's official, and that's what's important here. More than even you subscribing, which you should. Anyway, Golfer, where could people find you and your work?
You can find me right now on TikTok. It's GolferGareBear. If you just search up All Marines Are Evil, you'll find me.
Nice.
There we go. Vero.
You can find me Blue Sky, Tumblr, Instagram at Ginkgo Crown. And if you happen to like fighting games and are at EVO in a couple weeks, if you go to 2D's Space Days booth, I'll be helping out all weekend and say hi.
Bedazzling?
I'm bedazzling right now for that. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about fighting games, but I'm going to have a great time.
Good.
Yeah.
We're
going to be in Vegas, so it'll be fine.
Joey, what about you?
I'm Joey Weiser on Blue Sky and Joey Weiser Comics on Instagram. Yeah, please check out my graphic novels, Ghost Hog, Dragon Racer, and The Littlest Fighter. And let's see, I don't have a lot. I've kind of finished my big round of conventions and stuff. Speaking of which, I did meet some listeners at a few of the shows I went to. So if I saw you in Toronto, Charlotte, or Philly last month, hello. It was nice talking with you and chatting One Piece and stuff a little bit. But yeah, so I'll just be, laying low and making comics and stuff for the next few months. So just follow me on those social media spots and look out for my graphic novels. Thanks.
Sorry. So our co-host Steve Yurko couldn't be on this week because he's coming back from
He's in Miami for SuperCon.
But I just looked at his Blue Sky to see if anything was up with him, and it just says, "I told you all the Davy back fight was good." So there you go. In all capitals.
Yes.
It's like he's on the show now.
Yeah,
He
it's
was
like
so
he's here.
excited.
That's all he would have come on to say anyway.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Ed, who had to take off early as well. You could check him out at Edwardy on Blue Sky. You could check me out at ZachLogan.com on Blue Sky. Check us out, OnePiecePodcast.com, Patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, including YouTube at YouTube.com/OnePiecePodcast, where our videos are way over 3 minutes. And you could also check us out at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and as I mentioned, wherever else you get your podcast, or Instagram. If you're old, we have Facebook. If you're young, we don't have TikTok. If you're a millennial, we have Blue Sky, as Vero has told me before, is our generation's
The millennial app, yeah.
Yeah, which that's fine. I hope
That's
the
okay,
Zoomers join us. And anywhere else, you have podcast stuff. Anyway, Vero, I'm just gonna hand the show over to you and hope that everything goes fine. Don't ruin everything we've accomplished here today.
I can't promise that. Delaney, cue the music. Anyway. So sometimes Delaney has music. It's very fun. Okay. So for those who are new, some of our players today are new to the game. If you have not listened before and this is your first time, I'll give a quick spiel. Zach usually likes to torture us with trivia, but I'm not good at that, so I made my own.
I haven't done that in a while, to be like, I've done it once.
I wouldn't know, but no, because I always take over. It's a defensive maneuver.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So basically what I do is there is a fan fiction website called AO3, Archive of Our Own. People post fanfics on there, about their favorite characters, relationships, tragedy, romance, love, whatever. I pick some random ships to compare, and it is up to you guys to determine which one is more popular. As a base of understanding, to check in, there are currently 82,195 works in the One Piece tag, which is so up from when I first started doing this. Let's go, guys. We can get to 100,000. Woo!
With this segment.
Yeah,
I'm
noticing, every time I'm like, guys, you got to do, this crazy shift. Maybe
it's been us writing it. The last 20,000.
Yeah. The other day was Pedro-san Day, and I was like, this is our doing. So
it's specifically you, because there's only a dozen of you.
But you platform me, and that was your mistake. Since there's only
Both
3
of
of
those
you,
are
I'm
true.
just gonna have you guys play against me. And the first one, you know what, golfer, I am gonna throw you in the hot seat for a second. I don't know if you go to shipping at all or are involved, have your finger on the pulse of this at all. But what do you think is the most popular, most written about ship in One Piece fan fiction?
Oh, I feel like I was going to try and go down the middle by the one that I know of the most, which is Frobin. And I feel like that would be a big one.
Okay.
But it's definitely not. I forget what they call Zoro Sanji.
It is Zoro Sanji,
Yeah,
which is
ding, ding, ding.
Zosan.
Zosan, yeah. Isn't there a Sanro or something?
Okay, I'm
Sanji
not going
is
to explain
big
to
on
you.
that
I've
one, but-
learned a lot from you, Vero,
You don't need to know. Anyway, Zosan is the most popular, but Frobin is also kind of up there. It should be more. There should be more in Frobin Nation because
Think
they're
of this as
basically
an-
married in canon.
Think of this as an
Yeah.
educational class for us who are
Yes.
do
Yeah.
not know what's going on. All 3 of us.
And
Maybe
to
Joey,
give
I
you
don't know.
a numbers idea, Zosan has about just under 14,000 fics about them, and then everyone else is way below that. So the first matchup we're going to do, just throw you guys into hell. We're going to do a 3-way.
Literally.
No, well, sorry. 3 ships that are all similar.
Mm.
And we're bringing in reader fics because those girls are crazy. Kizaru/reader, Kuzan/reader, or Akainu/reader. Who
Oh.
are the girlies
Ooh.
most horny for? Which one are they writing about the most?
That's a good matchup.
I feel like
There's a right
we-
answer.
Oh, wait, are we a team here? Or...
Yeah, I think
you
we're
we
guys
need to
have to
deliberate?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys just play against me because I'm not going
I
to make
feel
you
like-
guys.
The Kizaru appreciation feels like a more recent development. I've been a big fan for a long time, but I don't know. But I feel like Akainu is pretty widely hated.
Yeah,
I
I
have a
feel like
question,
the,
Vero.
Right?
what's the redeeming qualities of him? Whereas Kuzan, I feel like you could, you know, the I can
He quit.
fix him. You know, he quit the Marines. He's out on his own.
Ish. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell if the like spice of Akainu trumps the reasonable decision of Aokiji.
2 things. First of all, in your estimation, you probably have no idea because there's a lot of these, I assume. How many of these are platonic fics?
Oh, okay. So there's actually a specific way to see platonic versus relationship tags, and I'm only ever searching by like romantic relationship because like the way to just look at it is if you use like a slash symbol, that means you ship them, but if you use like an and ampersand, that's like a like Luffy,
They're hanging.
Sanji. Nope, Luffy, Sabo, Ace are like together platonically. So these are all people who want to be fucking these Marines.
It's romantic.
Okay.
Okay.
That's important to know, I think.
Yes, I'm always asking you guys romantic.
I would personally endorse Kuzan for several reasons, but most that have been mentioned. But most importantly, because of Film Zed and the whole scene in the hot tub.
Hot tub scene.
Yeah, I think that would
You're
do
picking
it.
him because he's the hottest and has the
That's
most
why
fan
I
service?
would.
He's got the best
Yes.
hair too. Easily the best
Yeah,
hair out of
that's
the
true.
bunch.
Okay, let's do
And
it.
Sakazuki
Kuzan.
is just all awful. I mean, I know there are people who love him, Josh, but I don't think Josh wrote enough fanfics about him. and
Gay men
fixing
do
him.
love him in a
Yes.
strange and way I
don't
can't
get it.
understand. Yeah.
No,
Eh,
no one
it's
does.
okay. Kuzan is
Including
correct, though Akainu is the second most popular out of them. So he's very close.
Kizaru will have his day.
Yeah, they're writing. I
Let's
keep
get
seeing
writing,
art
guys.
of him
Once
and
those tears get animated, I think
Yes.
that's when we'll see
You
the
know
flip
what?
on him. We've got a
Yes,
lot of
yeah.
anime onlys in the One Piece world.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, we're bringing it around to the Straw Hats now. I feel like I haven't put Usopp in the spotlight in a while. I was trying to do,
Oda hasn't enough either.
I was trying to do Elbaf related things, but there's not a lot happening here. So anyway, Sanji and Usopp, or Luffy and Usopp. What are the girls more rabid about?
Luffy, I
Feel
feel.
Luffy sounds right to me.
I mean, there's actually like a
Luffy.
real friendship there that you could twist and warp.
I need the listeners to know I'm gagged at Zach implying that Sanji and Usopp are not friends.
No. I meant like Luffy and Usopp. They went through all that shit, like literally in the story. Like
that's true.
That's my vote. Is on those two, Luffy and Usopp. But anything with Usopp, I don't know what it is. This reaction I'm having is just it all feels very square peg in a round hole. It all feels like all his love is waiting for Kaya, and to imagine anything else is cheating on her.
Yeah, you have a one true pair thing there.
Yes. Yeah.
There's attention.
Is this your final answer, Luffy?
Yeah, Luffy.
That is incorrect. By a mile, actually. Sanji Usopp is the most popular Usopp ship of the fan. Zach looks defeated. Zach is defeated.
Can we get the ratio?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Sanji and Usopp. Now, I will. A disclaimer I have to give is in the 2010s-ish era, the preferred fan fiction website, which used to be fanfiction.net, had a huge purge. The burning of Library of Alexandria. And everyone moved to AO3, so there's a lot of stuff that would have been written like pre-time skip that is gone. But 711 Sanji Usopp versus 260 Luffy Usopp. So Usopp is pretty popular. Just I don't think they're writing about it.
I know you give that disclaimer a lot, but I want to note the amount of One Piece fans pre-2010 is just so insignificant compared to what it is today.
That is fair. That
being
is
one
fair.
of those.
But
in English.
I have in my perusing. Okay, sorry for the anecdote. I have found a Sanji Usopp fic that somebody was like, I'm going to port this from fanfic to AO3, and it was written in like, I don't know, 2009 or something, and they had put it out in the world, and the premise was kind of like the Straw Hats get separated, Sanji and Usopp kind of get on a deserted island again, where they're like,
okay,
playing
this is
with
just a
Sanji's
transcription of the first episode of our podcast.
I'm getting there. But they made up a whole backstory for Sanji and his mom because they had no context of that whatsoever, and it was so cool to be like, oh, this is what people would have thought. Like, when they had nothing to go off of for so many of these characters.
Fandom archaeology.
Yeah, it's in ancient Egypt. This is how Sanji would have.
Yeah, this is what Robin feels like reading the poneglyphs. Okay.
Whoa, Sanji and Usopp, I never.
So for some more current events, we have Rocks and Whitebeard, or
they didn't even know what rocks look like.
And Shanks.
Cross Guild as
all of Cross Guild?
All of Cross Guild and also Shanks, or just Rocks and Whitebeard.
It's got to be Cross Guild and Shanks, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, because they're all such like lightning rods for the community. If there's one thing I know, Buggy, Crocodile, Mihawk, and Shanks. That's a lot of daddy.
4 heavy hitters.
Is that your final answer?
Wait, I'll throw one caveat in. Hold on. We knew nothing about Rocks up until this chapter. This could have been the enigmatic Rocks with Whitebeard. But I think we'll keep the vote the same.
Reader. It might as well be Whitebeard/Reader at that point.
It is not correct.
What?
There are more
I'm
people
vote
wrong.
this at my computer.
I know.
Last second thought.
It's kind of crazy.
No, they're wrong. It's the children that are wrong.
I'm annoyed because I'm like, damn. Put Shanks in there, that's so easy. I'll give you an easy one.
What's the ratio there? I need to know the ratio
okay,
there.
It's 12 versus 9. There's not a whole lot. They're rare pairs, but...
Okay.
How dare you?
We're skating
I'm
fine lines
sorry.
here.
Those 12 people suck.
They could be our listeners.
No,
I don't
I'm
think
joking.
you suck. I love your
If they're our
imagination.
listeners, they're the greatest people ever, and if they're not...
Yeah, if there are listeners, that this fanfic is your fault.
True.
And you know what? I will be keeping an eye on the Rocks Whitebeard.
That might change.
As
now
the
I get
arc
it,
go on.
today. But...
Anyway, Zoro/Reader or Law/Reader? Which of the Dreamboat swordsmen did the girlies want more?
Girls love Law. The ladies love Law. I know they love Zoro, but
the men love Law too.
He's in high school. He'd be the guy wearing the Cookie Monster sweatpants outside of Hot Topic. Like the real.
Oh my god! What a good description of Law. You're immediately invited back. Wow, that's a video right there.
Let's do Law. Sounds good.
Yeah, I want to say Zoro because that's the answer I would give, but well,
Sure.
That is incorrect. It is Zoro. I know. It's because I'm playing mind games with you guys, but it is 1,278 to 1,171. So they are very close.
Okay.
Close. It's close. Okay.
still too many for law. Yes.
We, all it takes is another law scene for them to come running back to him. I don't know. We haven't
that'll
seen him
come
in a
back.
while. Hasn't
Yeah.
it been like 2 years or something?
Yeah, it's
been a minute.
while.
It's like
Oh my God, it's
captured or
been
something.
now-
What is going on?
I know.
with
This
law?
is how this will continue to
I-
be your life until the series is over, where you're like, that happened 2
Yeah.
years ago.
Well, I feel like the anime
have a-
skews it because like
Yeah.
you see that episode and it's like kind of
And there was
cuts
the
it
big
in half.
break in the anime too. Yeah.
Mhm. I have a friend who got into One Piece for law, and on the regular is like, it's been 637 days since I've seen my Pookie Bear, and I'm like, damn, dude, I'm sorry.
Do they mean Beppo? Because that would make more sense.
Yeah, she does love Beppo, yes. Okay,
I mean, Beppo's cool.
Beppo is cool. I love him. I've got one last one for you. We're circling back to Cross Guild, because I was curious. This one is just Cross Guild, and they've only been announced, like a year, 2 years ago at this
No,
point?
that's like 3 or 4 years.
That's not true.
Yeah, it was the end of Wano.
That's- No, I'm not old. Anyway,
I think it was 2022.
That's
Because I
crazy.
remember Steve drew an image saying Yamato new crew member 2022 with the shirts that were sold off for charity because it never ended up happening. And that was when Cross Guild was announced. So
Yeah,
that's
you're
why my
so
brain
right.
remembers this. Yeah.
God. All right, well, Cross Guild or Robin and Zoro.
Cross Guild together.
Mihawk, Crocodile, and Buggy.
Do they murder
has-
Buggy at the end? I guess that depends on the story.
we gotta trust the gaze. It's definitely not a straight ship.
What was Robin and Frankie you said was the
Robin
other
and
one?
Robin and Zoro.
Robin,
Oh no,
Zoro.
definitely Cross Guild. I mean, like, unless you're really fucking with us, which is possible.
Kind of feels like how this game is going, but this feels like at the end you think it's gonna be a change
Yeah.
up, but it's a heater down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's where we're headed right
Wow,
now.
very.
I
gets
was
this game.
so worried that I had become predictable, but I'm really glad that I can keep you guys on your toes.
I golfer for all the reasons he said. Yes, I second. Joey, do you have an opinion?
Sure. Sounds good.
Joey's like, get me out of here. That is incorrect. Robin and Zoro have like 3 times the number of picks, but
Wow. You know,
In-
I'm finding a trend of like you shouldn't bet against a straw hat. It seems like the straw
That's
hats
fair.
tend to
see,
like
the
yeah.
rule used to be never bet against the Yaoi, but I've been kind of, that's predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Cross Guild, though, I think will close this gap pretty soon because they're already at 311. And Robin and Zoro have had 28 years and are only at 960.
It feels astronomically low for a straw hat, like inter
It
straw
is
hat
pretty
ship.
low. Yes.
That is kind of the last ship I would think of, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an
Yeah, it's a
obvious
weird one.
If it was only Skypea, I'd be like, yeah, guys, sure. Congrats
Yeah,
on that
there was
one.
kind of
Have
that.
it.
I could see.
But the Chad 1300 Zosan versus the what's the Chad versus, I don't even remember.
Virgin.
Whatever.
Isn't it?
Virgin, yeah, the Virgin. Zoro.
You forgot about virgins?
I did forget about Virgin. Sorry, I'm on AO3
in this
a lot.
context, it's
They
particularly
made a great
good.
record
Yeah.
store back in the day.
I will
that's my dad
say-
joke of the day. I'm done.
We exist in a vacuum because I'm at conventions and girls who I will say, shout out to women who can bully their boyfriends into cosplaying for them because girls
You?
love to cosplay Robin and then make their boyfriend Zoro because they have a crush on Zoro. No, Steve and I were Ginny and
Interesting.
Kuma.
I know.
Because
I
we're real
was saying
ones.
that
Thank
before.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
I don't think I got to
Yeah,
mention
thank you.
how remarkable it is that you actually got Steve to cosplay after
yeah.
16 years of at least the podcast and more than that in One Piece fandom. So good for you.
I got him to cosplay, and he's going to cosplay Venture Brothers with me at Dragon Con, and he's already talking about other One Piece cosplays he wants to do, so I win.
Uh-oh.
You broke
Well, you
the
get
seal.
to-
Now
That's
it's
a bug.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did break the seal.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be
Venture
Brock,
Brothers
and
feels
then I'm going
like
to
it
make
would
him
have been
Frankie.
Venture Brothers feels like it would have been an easier lift, if anything, actually.
I think Kuma's so safe though. Like,
yeah,
such a. It's the jacket, it's the pants, it's the Bible. Or unless you had him doing a different.
We did like the revolutionary
revolutionary.
looks because we wanted to match, which was fun. But somebody asked me if he was Weird Al, which
Oof.
was really
wig was too
funny
long?
because of the wig. Yeah, the
Weird
wig,
Kuma.
you know. But
also
That's
Steve
okay.
is
We had a good
bald,
time.
so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
you don't
different
know
look for
Steve.
him.
Yeah, he could be Brock when he gets his hair.
Oh, yeah,
burned
no,
He's-
I'm
he would
putting
be-
him in a mullet. He has to
Oh,
have
he's
the
gonna be
mullet,
Brock?
or it's not.
Okay, well,
Yeah. Yes.
we're announcing it
Oh.
here, so look forward to that at some convention in the future.
Dragon Con. Yay.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Bother Steve and tell him he looks like a blonde Weird Al. That'll do it for the podcast this week. We'll see you next week, as we said, for our Volume 112 recap. But until then, my name is Zach. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.